the arena, and it's Chalet and Chalet. How fitting as we go into the opening map of this quarterfinal best of three. Falcons, main stage for the first time as a roster, looking to do one better than their brothers back in Meta. GK in Atlanta made it this far but fell short of a semi-final appearance. For Virtus.pro, a sensational run at 6 Invitational but could not back it up in Manchester. Now a chance to redeem and once again make top 4.
So the 1-2 off the board then from VP. We kind of saw that one coming. Guards has been very prominent on the shields at this event, and whilst I think shield play overall has not been quite as strong as we probably expected, it is still powerful, and I won't see any further play here. The Blitz though does remain with the Maverick to follow, so one hard breach off the board. The Valk, another expected defensive ban, and that will likely be followed up probably by the Azami, unless the VP want to throw something different into the mix. They are kicking things off on defense, and the name of the game for them is going to be withstanding the pressure and the aggression from Falcons. But I'm 1 for 1. Azami's off the board.
So Falcons will be attacking first here on Chalet. They're the 3rd best team remaining at the major in terms of attacking win rate. And they've also played a grand total of 114 rounds. And that's a little bit more than those that made it straight into phase 2. Of course, coming all the way from phase 1, they've had their fair share of siege getting to this particular point of the tournament. As we head into Chalet, it does kind of feel like if Falcons can win this map, Border, the deciding map, is just there waiting for them. It's arguably going to be their best performing map. We've seen how devastating they can be on these more open maps. Get the swing game going, get the fast pace going, and VP might not know what's hit them, but to get there, of course, then in the second map, we've got the most defender-sided map at the tournament in Cafe.
Yeah, it's really going to be about setting the tone. And again, important to mention that for Falcons, this is somewhat unusual territory, main stage, a bit of pressure, a bit cold in the arena as well, so they'll be looking to adjust to those conditions as well. And looking to just set the tempo for this particular matchup. I don't think the operator bans that came through to reiterate the Monty, Mav, Valk, and Azami is really going to shake that up all too much. I'm sure both teams probably went in with a pretty general idea that that was the kind of composition we'd see taken off.
Well, final fist bumps and a short little delay, but getting into the first round, we will be for Chalet. Quarterfinal best of 3. It's a long day today. We've got a whole bunch of games here at the Montreal Major. It's great to see everyone coming in this Friday morning as we begin on Snow Wine. Chalet, Virtus.pro, and Falcons kick it off.
Let's jump into things then, and it is the clash on the board from VP for this opening round. So we'll see what kind of an impact that may have inside of the server for this opening engagement. Of course, the clash very powerful when it comes to stalling out time, and again, that's going to be the name of the game for VP in this first half. They're also combining that with Tubarao and the Kaid, so hard breach as well will be quite the challenge with the Maverick banned out.
Yeah, it certainly will be. For Falcons, now expect them to try and hit this hard and fast. They've got the Blitz in place. You can clearly see they can play off of that at any moment. They don't necessarily need to rush into the building straight away, but when they do have that strategy in mind as to how they want to hit it, when they want to hit it, they do it as a team. They do not mess around. So VP will need to be wary of that, ready of that. And I'm also curious to see how VP are going to set up defensively. Will they look to engage these entry positions, look to be aggressive, try and stop Falcons before they can get even into the building, or look to maybe go back and play site? Now, when it is Snow Wine, though, you do want to go up above and you do want to roam.
The ram in play from Falcons indicative that they do want to get some vert control, and Dov will drone forward. You mentioned the potential roam here from VP, and there are several players offside at the moment. It is just the Tubarao and the Clash as expected on that basement floor, and a triple roam employed.
Well, Hashom's just mistimed them as they've made their way down library stairs. He could follow up, and they will not be necessarily aware that he slipped into this position. Clash down below as well. VP looking to maybe give up this first floor position outside of Dan at the moment over towards Trophy. And he's going upstairs as well, looking to at least be the solo lurker for VP to offer a point of difference here on the defense.
How long can Dan hold on there? Minute 44 still on the clock over towards Solarium, and not really under an immense amount of pressure at the moment. Falcons posturing over towards library stairs. The Blitz likely to be the spearhead for this attack.
Well, I mean, the pacing for Falcons is already quite slower than what we've seen from them throughout the tournament. It's a minute and a half remaining. They haven't really gone to engage down below whatsoever. I think they're a little bit worried about this roam for VP, but it is only 1 or 2 players. Jalad will actually make first contact. Here comes the Blitz, though. Guards will get the opening kill of the matchup. Pasha goes down, and advantage for Falcons temporarily.
Well, you can ban one shield, but you can't ban them both, and good drone work from Falcons to facilitate that push. Gives them the advantage. Shepard then on the clash looking to respond himself. Bit of counter pressure again over towards this library stairs position. Joystick able to respond for one. That's Robbie on the ground, one of the key players for Falcons.
That's the top player of the tournament so far in the bin. Full white. Chalet still again low on health, so hard to push forward in through that breach. 45 seconds coming on up on the timer. Dove up above, looking to try and clear out this player down below. Can't find the answer though. Falcons are getting stalled out. Joystick will fall. And with that, suddenly an opening again for Falcons in terms of man advantage. Always though, equals it back up, and you've still got this clash to deal with, Guz.
The retake attempt up above here from VP looking good and always able to lock down sight. Guards on 29 HP down main. We'll be looking to try and get this diffuser on the ground. Hasham to cover.
He's going to plant inside of the smoke over towards default position. Shepard making his way over. Always will actually just shoot through the smoke. Stop the plant from going down. Leaves just Hasham alone in a 1v3. The clash and nuisance electrifying him to death here in the final stages of this opening round. Virtus.pro's defense looks to be able to hold strong as they kickstart with a round win here in the quarterfinals.
So a clean opening round then from VP on defense. Bit of a roam employed, and while Falcons did have a decent read on that, and we saw the Blitz get some value in clearing it, VP able to reclaim that ground over towards Dining, made things difficult. Hasham not in the best of positions to try and cover the plant. And outside of the Blitz getting an isolated one, then didn't get value in the late round.
I mean, the pacing is the biggest contrast to what we've seen for Falcons throughout the tournament. When you can get to about that minute and a half mark, and they haven't really done a whole lot of clearing and pushing and being aggressive and wanting to swing angles and get in the face of VP, well, you know, something's off. VP not giving them an inch, and you can imagine that's pretty natural. That's their playstyle. Virtus.pro don't make mistakes all that often. They won't overpeak. They can sometimes look to concede position rather than losing player lives. As we head over towards Kitchen here, and a top floor hold coming up for Virtus.pro. This, though, could be a site in which Falcons could get a little bit more aggressive in looking to clear out that top floor in a timely manner.
Yeah, the one thing I'll be looking at with a keen eye is the time of that opening kill. I'm having a look back at that Falcons-Chiefs game back on Chalet where they won 7-4. And a lot of those opening engagements were within the first minute of the round. In fact, quite a few within the first 30 seconds of the round. Whereas that one there, back in round number 1, it was just on the edge of about 2 minutes into the round, so.
Look at the lineup though, guys. Grim, Capitao. I mean, the Blitz, the Sophia, the Sens, it's all about this dislodgement of VP's position. Can you be a nuisance? Can you get them out of those positions to then try and get a pick nice and early into the round? VP will be more than happy to try and sit back, play those defensive angles, hold the long lines of sight. But maybe Falcons look to find a way to negate that with the operator lineup they're bringing in this round.
Yeah, on paper, this is a strong lineup into no Warden for defense. That being said, there is triple Nitro, and it does mean that positioning then from VP is going to be absolutely key in helping deal with this utility.
The Sens is great here as well. There's a little drone hole in towards Trophy. You can throw that through with the ROU, clear up the shield screens, and then you can start to get really good position over a key area of a round such as this. Thought maybe we'd get an opening shot. Not yet from Hashot. Now he will take the shots. Not necessarily landing though. And this is what Falcons want though. They want these early engagements. This is when they're at their best.
Yeah, Falcons at the moment focusing their efforts up above. This double window repel very strong and cutting off the cross on this top floor. Meanwhile,
Guard's gonna go. Oh, he didn't commit. Now he will with the flash pistol out. So far, always doing a tremendous job with the mute. The trade is imminent from Robbie, looking for more and will get the kill onto Pasha. Double from Robbie. Trophy stares control for Falcons, but a tremendous drop from Always. Joystick stands up to the occasion as well. And this is, though, the game plan that Falcons want.
Position known. Joystick low on HP, needs to find at least one. Swings the corner, finds it, that's Robbie.
So low on health for Joystick, but so cool, calm and collected to just fall back, play bathroom. There's a lot of time still remaining in this round. Knows Jalad is over towards the solar side of the map, so information at least on one of the players. But again, the low HP for Joystick. His demise, and on the repel, no good. Dove gets the kill against Dan, and Falcons on the board.
And that's the chaotic brand of Siege that we are expecting more of in this best of 3. There's a bit of a dodgy start with the Blitz. I got a little bit concerned there for Falcons, but able to recover. Robbie getting himself inside of the server as well with a good round. And the clear on that top floor, really clean from Falcons. VP identified that as a big win con. They were pretty eager to hold the top floor. As we look through the replays of this particular round, Joystick as well, putting up a good fight and a decent swing, but was low on HP. And then Chalet able to combine. And a good round from Falcons.
Already inside of the opening 2 rounds, you can clearly see the difference when they're finding the ability to play their own game style. Opening round, Virtus.pro, that fallback defense, force Falcons to clear sight late in the round, and that's not what Falcons want. Second round, though, up above, lots of contest, lots of time on the clock, and Falcons able to do their thing, and they find success 1-1. Now, Chalet, very attacker-sided so far at the major, so for Falcons, they will need to get the rounds on the board in this opening half, or VP will be in a very good position. Already one defensive round, you'll take that with the way things have started, but Falcons on the board, and they'll feel good after that round. Robbie as well, double kill towards Trophy Stairs, helping out the blitz that did kind of struggle guards in the 1v1 against Always on the mute.
Pretty classic setup then from VP on defense here for Bar with the extension up above, dual shields. Triple Jaegers as well to help against projectiles. And it does mean that Hasham will have a big role to play in this round with those Rotero drones. There is the mute in play as well, though, to compete with. So we'll see what Falcons elect to go for. Perhaps a little bit more direct. Do they go for the map clear office across? There are options available with this composition. For VP, though, it's critical that they don't give away any picks for free or it will weaken the cross.
Yeah, Hasham trying to be a bit cheeky over towards Mudroom and see if he can get one early through the hallway. Making their way back to Barstock, though, will be Shepard. Just the one and only Nitrocell available for Virtus.pro in this round. Always a good thing to have. If you've got that Nitrocell Barstock position, you can throw it over towards half wall. Was a player temporarily. Robbie had one peeking at him from the closet. Wasn't able to find the shot. Still 3 death marks available on the Deimos. Again, with the Grim as well, you've got the ability to really clear out these positions. The Flores too, with those Roteros still up to deal with those deployable shields. Speaking of shields, the Blitz coming around the corner of Piano. It's a horizontal take right now for Falcons. VP, again, a site in which they can just sit back, play site, play the angles, force Falcons to push into them, not get into that roam game.
Dan yet to find a kill so far, but on the board in this round plays a critical role in the face of this belt of utility, the onslaught that's about to come from Falcons. Good work with the Rotero and Robbie able to find the opener.
Oh, the trade, though, it's going to come through onto the Blitz. Of all operators, not one that you would like to lose, but only down at the moment, too, though. More following for Falcons. Dan has to go big here, holding in the mezzanine, and he swings aggressively, finds the kill onto Jalapidov's there for the very quick response, and a 1v2 now for Shepard down the hallway. Throws out a random Nitrocell at the mezzanine, but not there at the moment. Robbie looking for the pickup to get his Blitz back up, and that is a handy teammate to get back into the round. 2v1 now, as Shepard has used that Nitrocell. He falls back and he plays Barstock.
The death mark ineffective. Shepard inside of that mute jammer temporarily rotates over towards back of games, and the Blitz to push forward. Needs to try and isolate these picks, but unable to do so. Again, the Blitz providing really good value for Falcons.
Hotly contested round. The ability for Robbie to go back and get the pickup of the Blitz, though, probably solidified it at that moment in a 2v1 with the shield up. It was always going to be difficult. 2-1 lead. Falcons 2 rounds in a row. And VP, well, just some nervous moments here on their defense at times. When the gunfights start to ring out around the map, that's when it feels like Falcons are in control.
Yeah, very much easier said than done to break that cross over towards Mez, but good work with utility. They isolated ones. Dan, they're not really in the best of positions to try and reclaim some control back in the round. Off the back of this push forward, again, Robbie continues to be ultra aggressive as expected and hitting his shots early on. We saw this nice little attempt from Dan, but a good trade. And then off the back of the res, again, guards able to get some good work done on site itself.
So 2-1 lead for Falcons here, early days, only the opening half of a best of 3. Snow Wine we head to for the 4th round. VP were successful last time on this particular objective. They're looking to repeat that success. They do bring the Clash once again on Shepard, but I feel like the Clash so far hasn't really been all that incredibly useful. And to be fair, in the opening round, it did stay alive, and it was a nuisance for Falcons, as they very much changed up their approach, though, quite significantly from the last time out of this site. I think they'll have far more emphasis on maybe trying to get lobby control, get the Boogie Auto breaches out from the Ram. Knowing full well that VP might not want to play into that full roam game, then you want to really put the pressure in from above.
Yeah, we'll say currently 2 defenders, though, are on 2nd floor. So indicative that VP will lean into somewhat of a roam. Whether or not they elect to peel off, try and get back towards side, we'll wait and see, or if they want to actually hold up above aggressively. I mean, this position from Dan, very forward in library.
Oh, caught out though by Dov, and you've always got to be aware when Falcons are inside of the server and Chalet just gets rid of Pasha. The roam game not working for Virtus.pro, and nor should it against this Falcons roster that is just so strong around the map. VP somewhat moving away from what has made them so successful. Playing sight, playing close angles, forcing that clock to tick down, always trying to peek up library stairs. When you're down 2 players, you feel like you have to do something.
So much time now on the clock for Falcons to try and clear these final 3 defenders. Shepard trying his best to stall time out over towards library stairs. Track stingers to prevent him now from pushing back up the staircase, and so he'll be locked into position. Meanwhile, always back on side, Joystick storage. The roam has failed for VP in this round.
And there's so much time as well.
Yeah.
This is almost like a normal attack, even in a 5v5, and 2 players down, and Joystick core. Floorboards have been ripped to shreds, and right now the defense too for VP in a similar manner. Needing to find that kill from always, but Hashom's just better. Even with the clash, Falcons just shoot right past it, almost ignoring it. Shepard, no! Whoa. Okay! Makes a little stand and a 1v2 now remaining, but he's also only on 2 HP. Confirms the kill, but the plant has gone down successfully for Falcons, and while Shepard has done a nice little individual effort, surely he can't win the round from here, even flamed out temporarily in the hallway.
30 seconds. Can Shepard pull off a miracle? The cross established.
He has to put the shield away at this point and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
Yellow ping information. Can he find a quick pick? Tap, not going to be enough. Needs to spray that. Time running out as well. So guards will hold on for Falcons. And Falcons with a 3-1 start here in the quarterfinal against the experienced Virtus.pro.
And they're playing a brand of Siege that is going to work best against VP. It worked really well phase 1, phase 2. They're playing with confidence. They're clearing these roams largely uncontested and then putting a ton of pressure on the remaining defenders from VP, who aren't really then even being given an opportunity to go for playmaking opportunities to maybe recover rounds. So they find themselves in a tricky spot. The Falcons during this tactical timeout, I'm sure they're discussing it, of just recomposing, doing more of the same. And for VP, they don't need to commit to a play style of either doubling down and tripling down on their efforts offside or instead bunkering.
4 rounds in, 3 opening kills so far for Falcons as well, so they're controlling the early portion of the round. They're doing a decent job in the middle portion, and, well, clearly, 3 rounds to 1. They are executing at the end. So Virtus.pro kind of losing in all categories at the moment. It is, of course, attacker side of Chalet. We expect Falcons to do well in this half, undoubtedly. But they are absolutely dominating. And again, you think about, well, you're playing Snow White, typically. You go for that roam game up above, but against Falcons, that roam game is always going to be very difficult to execute properly. And outside of a shining little moment from Shepard, it really was a one-sided round for Falcons as they just are getting better and better as the half progresses. 2 more rounds to go in this opening half. Can Falcons go all the way and try and get a 5-1 lead, then heading into their defense would set them up very nicely.
To offer a little bit of context for Chalet at this event thus far, the attacking win rate does stand at 54.2%, so it's a 4-2 benchmark in favor of the attack. Falcons very much on track for that at the moment. VP, not much resistance in the last few rounds. We'll see what they can offer here for the 5th. In terms of composition, rather frag heavy from defense. Alla will be able to roam around.
Do you want to roam around?
Well, it's a risk you've pretty much got to take, I think, at this point. Pasha, though, 0-4, looking to get himself in this match.
If you are going to roam around against Falcons, you very much have to be switched on. At any point, they can make an entry. Either into games, into Mudroom, and that's why he's got those Grismont mines placed, ready for those entries. Drone has spotted the feet of Pasha. They know that he is loitering around library stairs. But of course, with the Alla and those Grismont mines, he can at least delay their entries a little bit, try and slow down this aggression of Falcons. Drones in towards top floor. Robbie 4 and 3. But again, as we kind of said pre-match, it's not just the Robbie show. Entry though from said Robbie, the MVP of the tournament, makes his mark in the opening portion of this round. He's got red ping information as well to play off. That's a kill. No way he messes this one up, although he's making a little meal of it, is Robbie. That's all right. All for the cameras. Just make it look a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. 6-3 for the highest rated player at the tournament, and VP's defense is getting shredded. Shepard with a chance to maybe shoot one back through the hatch, but misses the shot. Always going for a power play, but it's the Claymore that shuts him down. 4-1 for Falcons.
That is a very concerning round for VP. Off the back of the tactical timeout, that's one thing. But in the face of that composition, it's another. We did not see primary hard breach at all from Falcons, and the secondaries from the Ying were not used at any point in time during that round. They were able to just smash their way through the top floor clear, made it look really easy. The vertical control was not even needed in the end either. So any win con there for defense was basically gone in the first 45 seconds of the action phase. So incredibly concerning for VP. Especially if the analyst desk is right, Jake. They're expecting, if this goes to a third map, Falcons should be able to get it across the line.
Well, the second rated player for Virtus.pro is Pasha. 105 EPS, +8 on the KD. He's actually +0 on entry, which is not bad necessarily. There's a lot of players that are negative at times, but right now he is 0-5. You're missing a big chunk of VP's firepower. If Pasha's not firing, he can't get involved at the moment. Whereas on the flip side, when you look at Falcons, like everyone is performing to the expectations in this opening half. One round to go before we flip sides. Falcons, can they go 5-1 up? All things considered, if this goes 4-2, then VP might just be able to scrape by despite being rather dominated with a decent half on defense Chalet.
Yeah, if the numbers are anything to go by, a 4-2, very much salvageable for VP, but Falcons are playing with that energy and that intent that we saw through phase 1 and phase 2. They haven't frozen up at all here main stage, which is a very promising sign for them.
It is a little chilly in here, so...
Well, yeah. They are bringing the heat, though. It's warming up.
They are bringing the heat inside of the server. Virtus.pro not dealing with it, though. But again, if they can find a way to close out with a round win here, VP could put themselves back in a decent position, then going into their own attacking half. All the entry kills so far, bar one, have gone the way of Falcons through 5 rounds played. They're up 4-1 in that department, along with the corresponding scoreboard. Guards, Solar into bedroom, looking to just clear across here, doing their due diligence. Red ping information as well that they can play off over towards library stairs, along with the mezzanine is where VP are, of course, contesting.
A very similar setup to what we saw last time around with dual shield, Warden in play, Jaeger as well. So projectiles might not be the win con for Falcons in clearing out these positions. Guns up.
Well, last time Robbie got one from this very position. Carelessness on the defense from VP. Have they learnt lessons?
They didn't bring the Flores this time around, so we'll see if that has a negative impact on Falcons and their ability to clear this utility. At the moment, though, just being patient.
Well, this is the least good part for VP. We're getting closer to that 1 minute mark, and that's probably about the time if you're VP where you really want Falcons engaging you. Not so much the 1.5 or 2 minute mark. The later the better if you are Virtus.pro here on the defense. Joystick even finding an opening kill. A rare sight for VP in this half. And with that clock ticking down, you have to start swinging angles that maybe you haven't cleared properly, and Robbie will fall coming out of piano. On that side on the balcony, and Falcons are now down a couple of players. VP, for the fact that they've been dominated for so long in this half, could find a very, very required second round. As Robbie gets brought back up, it's still just 4-5, but there's only 35 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Falcons not with a ton of utility now. They'll need to try and brute force their way through. And that's the result.
That! Well, that's certainly going to seal the round, you would imagine, now with only Dove remaining as the solo. And yes, he does find 2 kills, but no time. And the explosion of the Nitrocell for Virtus.pro, and for all the dominance from Falcons, and for how good they have looked. It's only a 4-2 half. 4 attacking rounds on Chalet, par for the course. VP now get their turn.
Yeah, that round, one of the rare occasions where the utility largely left standing for defense, and then Falcons finding themselves in several unfavorable fights. VP then able to confirm the round, and in doing so reach pretty much the benchmark. I think they'll be decently content with the half. But Falcons certainly showing some flashes of brilliance, more than a few. And if they can bring that kind of energy onto defense, VP could find it difficult to break down.
Yeah, we got kitchen and dining to begin the second half as we go back to the replays here. And for BP, again, a rare sight, opening kill, able to then follow off of that. So a really good round individually from Joystick to be able to go and find those kills, open things up. And at that point for Falcons, when you're down a couple of plays, it's a lot harder to use the body of numbers to just swing these positions and these locations, go for that trade game. And that's why that opening kill is so important for either of these two teams in a matchup like this. BP now get their opportunity on attack. And we'll see if they can maybe go one better, or if this one could even potentially head to OT with the way things are shaping up.
Time will tell as we prepare for the 7th round. Castle in play from Falcons. So looking to stall out the clear up above. We'll see how VP look to deal with that.
Well, if you want some of the statistics as well here, Guz, Falcons, second highest team defensively, only behind FaZe Clan. As good as they are offensively, they can and do play well on the defense. So something to consider, and certainly not going to be a walk in the park for VP to find these attacking rounds here on Chalet, even if the map is slightly favored to the attack. And I am also curious to see 3 Nitro cells. How aggressive do Falcons get on the defense? I would imagine we'll probably see a little bit more movement from them defensively than in comparison to what we saw from Virtus.pro.
Yeah, it's a quad stack on the top floor with Dov playing sentry over towards those trophy stairs. VP looking to take it head on from office across the castle barricades, as I mentioned, are just stalling things out a little bit. There is dedicated primary hard breach though for VP with the ace and the secondaries on the fuse. Fuse as well, a talking point, always will be looking for vertical control to then flush out site itself. Dov goes for a peek outside over towards that double window position. Notices it's clear. Joystick with a flash in through piano. Meanwhile, though, office being opened up.
I mean, also no room or flank from Falcons. Oh, they're holding back at the moment. Fuse going off, and it's going to be Hashom to fall. Opening kill for Always, and Hashom on the floor as well. Great start offensively for Virtus.pro. Falcons, can they find a way to bite back? Guards playing down below, in sight. But Hashom now pretty much left on an island to just bleed out by himself. No saving him here. Jalad still over towards Piano. Just looking to deny BP the position to just waltz on in. Top floor, get that full vert control. Of course, it is kitchen and dining. Joystick on the roam. The one thing VP is doing really well in this round is map control. Falcons not doing it either. They're just sitting, playing site, playing the vert. There's no flank, no one west main, no one basement flanking. But they do get the revive onto Hashom. Deathmark comes out. Position will be known onto Dov, being relayed over to the Deimos, but that gets cancelled. 30 seconds left in the round for VP, and suddenly they've been stalled out.
Well, they need to disrupt this vertical hold up above. These lines of sight down towards the objective from Falcons could be enough. That being said, fights going the way of VP, and a 2 versus 4.
Down to Guards and Dov. The two brothers, 15 seconds. Great shot, headshot, drop down, Deathmark coming out. Kid got stopped. Guard with 10 seconds just has to deny the plant from going down. Dan is low, doesn't matter. Pasha makes a welcome return for Virtus.pro, and they're on the board on the attack here in the second half.
Super clean attack then, overall. Kick started off the back of the fuse, that clear into office, very disruptive for Falcons. VP though identifying that they needed control again up above, and they won those fights out. There was one last-ditch attempt from Falcons to recover the round, but not in the best of positions to do so. And yeah, really liking what we saw there from VP in their opening attack. And it just puts a little bit more pressure now back on Falcons.
Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? That's kind of what we were saying going into the second half, is that for Virtus.pro now, they get to go on the attack. They get to have the fun of attacking Chalet. And while Falcons certainly did a decent job to get that time down, considering the circumstances, losing a couple of players early on, Hashom had to get revived. They did have good vert control. Ultimately, though, the pressure from VP was enough. They got into sight. They were able to start trying to stick that plant down. Really good signs for Virtus.pro, I think, in that round. The map control that they were able to get as well, moving around the map. I didn't feel like Falcons did a good enough job there. Like, where are the flanks? No one roaming basement or west main trying to push in, keep the corridor control, nothing towards the library side. I feel like Falcons as a team are at their best when they're moving around the map and they're trying to play that swing battle nice and fast, get the gunfights going.
So it is bar then for round number 8, and we'll see what kind of play style Falcons I like to employ for this particular round. From the attack, we have the striker in play, so utility dump going to be arguably a big win con. Hasham, though, does find the first hit in the 8th round, and oddly enough, it is the striker off the board. Able to rotate away. So not the best of starts this time around for VP. We'll see how they fight from a disadvantage. Early drone work currently over towards the trophy side of the map. Joystick on the buck, likely to try and get control up above for Vert. Can also get value horizontally from that skeleton key as well. Meanwhile though, Chalet in master bedroom gets punished. Pasha on that solar repel gets a free kill.
Yeah, I think this is better for Falcons, even if it is just a 4v4. You've lost your lad. You want these fights, but falling back is the Malusi. Oh, Robbie. Somewhat getting tamed a little bit in terms of his survival rate, but he does still have 7 frags to his name. Pasha now from 0 and 5, now to 3 and 5. And he's starting to get involved with Virtus.pro. This match is really tightening up. Pasha, the swing. The Malusi was left side. It could have been an easy kill onto Robbie, but misses the shots altogether. But alas, they do take position towards Piano. Good map control again for Virtus.pro. And so far looking very nice on their attacks.
There was that small window of opportunity, though, for VP to gain an advantage, and it goes astray. We'll see if that proves costly as we slowly progress towards the final minute 15 of the round. Shield still standing, top library stairs, and a mirror window facing through mezzanine to the double window. Dolv eager to try and hold down that line, but conscious of the swing from Piano. Ash charge in response from Pasha lands, and so Dom's position now compromised a little bit, but the Goyo utility as well.
Good stall out.
Offering good stall.
And even with that mirror window that has been broken, it's still a difficult position to push into. So aggressive right now, though. The push coming in.
Wow.
The Virtus.pro, Shepard just went for it, and so did Joystick. They thought they could maybe overwhelm the position, and that is a down outside, and that is what Falcons firepower looks like. Huge 5th round acquired for the MENA team and extend their lead here in the second half.
Really good stall out then from Falcons from those positions, with the shield still standing and the mirror window for the most part, feeding information. That cross, top floor, difficult to break down, and VP trying to brute force it in the end, unsuccessful. So good comms from Falcons, great patience in just baiting that attack in, proved very effective, and a good response. Round 9 then, basement. We will go for this one. And a lot of stall out utility once again on the board for Falcons, spoiler alert. But we look back at that prior round, and Pasha got a nice kill there. Unfortunately, they missed a second opportunity later on. And did it punish VP a little bit? Perhaps. But the hold from Falcons was just too strong.
I think that's the round, the catalyst to really feel like for Falcons, hey, we're really getting this done. 5-3, a couple rounds to go. We one map up in a quarterfinal. Already making main stage is a dream come true for these players from MENA. To then go to a semi-final would be something extraordinary. They've started really well here, and maybe a sport peak from guards. Unsuccessful though, the blitz leading forward, and Shepard will of course guard for his teammates against. Guards, 5-3, VP can now make entry over towards the trophy. We're once again being met though, this time by Robbie. Not even top fragging anymore with Dov onto 9 kills. Really again highlighting that for Falcons, it's not just the Robbie show.
Well, he's only got a 50% cost in this match so far, so he has been a little bit inconsistent, but Falcons not being overly reliant on him in this match, which is a positive sign. Falcons not wanting to give away much in the way of map control for free so far, contesting pretty much every entry point on the exterior so far. In fact, Shepard's still outside, potentially looking to posture for a back hit. But again, Robbie up above, and J-Lad has repositioned. So again, they're just not giving anything for free, which is the perfect way to play against VP, because it will drain time.
I wonder if for VP, do they look to try and bring the aggression down a little bit, maybe over-aggressive in the last round and to push over towards Mezzanine. They can play that slowdown if they want. Still one line scan available with the E1D. Adrenal Surge is still all fully banked up. Along with the Blitz, you can still go for a really good fast push later in the round. There's no wine, so it's all about just playing calculated, clear out the roamers. Chalet, though, has not been cleared. Never mind, he has. Very sharp shot from Joystick as he gets the opening kill for Virtus.pro here on their attack. Gives them that player advantage. Now they can certainly think about throwing bodies aside, but a peek. At this point, you don't need to peek. Fall back, play side. Falcons don't give them any more. That would have just been a waste of life. And Robbie towards bot West main. A trade, yes, but VP still with the advantage. 4 versus 3, and Falcons now just thinking about looking to delay. Fireplace stairs up in flames with the Vulcan canister popped.
Only now in the final minute of the round, VP converge into the map itself. 2 Zerto canisters available for guards, but it looks like there's information in play as well on site for Virtus.pro. Vertical with the shotgun, unable to net the pick. Dog looking to fight back aggressively to bring it back to a 3 versus 3. 30 seconds on the clock, and Falcons doing a pretty good job in withstanding this pressure.
No nitro cells, 2 Zerto canisters. Guards could look to just throw that on the floor and just stop them from being able to run in quickly. There's not a lot of time remaining. Dog contact towards storage. 1 Adrenal Surge remaining from Dan on the Finker. Hasham, though, huge kill onto Always, and with little time remaining in the round, it's all evened up as the Blitz makes its way through Blue Hallway, trying to just get in towards the site. Dan in towards Stowe, now looking to stick the plan as they find the kill onto Dog. Top frag of the Falcons, up close and personal, though. Shepard finds a huge kill. The plant is successful. Guards can't do anything about it. Back and forth we go here on Chalet. Into the 10th round with the scoreboard looking at 5-4. Falcons, oh, that lead shrinks a little bit more. 1 round differential.
That's a really fun battle to watch in the final minute. VP doing the right thing on paper and trying to get an advantage through Vert. And Falcons not really conceding an inch. Unfortunately, though, they did succumb to that pressure in the end after Hasham was able to find that one. Eventually, they got something from Vert, and then the Blitz as well through Blue offered a lot of value. Good coverage on the plant attempt as well. And some half smiles from VP, which is good by their standard.
Well, one of the big change-ups, really, if you kind of look at the first 5 rounds, 4-1 in opening kills for Falcons. Since then, 4-1 now, though, for Virtus.pro. So they've really been able to turn that metric around. They're starting to get the opening kills. VP are starting to do better in the early portion of the round. In the first half, it was really all 3 metrics being won by Falcons. VP is starting to get some semblance of control there, and even the late round executions now improving here in the second half. Lo and behold, of course, they're on attack. We get that, but Falcons don't need many more rounds. So for VP, they've still got to be very clean, execute very nicely on these attacks to keep that scoreboard ticking over. Falcons so close to that match point margin. Can they get there? 10th round, 5-4, as Virtus.pro make their way towards the building once again.
So we will see the fuse employed once more. We saw that ultra effective over towards Office in clearing out the bandit juggle attempt from Hasham, and so I suspect we'll see something similar here in the 10th round. Elsewhere on the opposing side of the map as well, Solver locked down, Robbie as well, close by in Office as well. Those yokais will provide some good information if they are to be played aggressively up above. And goes without saying that the utility on site late is also a big win con. J-Lad, though, finds the first. Pasha, who has had a bit of a rough day at the office so far, 4-7 on that Thatcher falls.
Yeah, I mean, he was 0-5, then brought it back to 4-6, so he's starting to find the improvement, but he does fall early in this round. Lose the Thatcher. Don't think it's going to matter too much. So down a player now for VP. Can they find success in a round in which they do not have the early advantage? Not since the second round has a team got the opening kill, but then gone on to lose the round. So it's been since round 3 to round 9. If you get the opening pick, you win the round. It's an intriguing metric to follow, but not one that is always accurate. And maybe a chance for VP to offset that trend. Joystick over towards the solar side, looking to open up the window here, but up close is Dolph on trophy stairs. 2 Nitrocells available still for Falcons too on the defense, and up now a player They don't have to do as much. They don't have to force as much here. Wait for VP to push into them. Dolph, though, aggressive. Up close on the window. Finds a nice kill. The second over the right side, but he can't find the angle. And Dan, though, on the balcony does get one back, but they lose another. Hashom down over towards top library stairs, and Dan will fall to Jalad. This round falling apart for Virtus.pro, and only Shepard remains in a 1 versus 4. Hashom certainly could get brought back up, and I imagine he will very soon. Even the shots through the floorboard off of the Kuan Hive launcher pings from the canister of the Bees, not doing enough. And it's about to be 6-4 for Falcons, you would imagine. They are about to have 2 match point opportunities here to begin this quarterfinal best of 3. Shepard just trying as hard as he can, but Falcons had this one locked up. 2 map points. It's a pretty good position to be in if you are Falcons now, close to taking this opening map.
Really good read there from Falcons in the prior round, and whilst Robbie has been very exciting to watch at this event thus far, Dov not too far behind. He read into that rotate over towards Solar on the rappel, and in the face of a potential 6 flash dump, able to get aggressive and give his team the advantage. And the rest of the hold elsewhere was clean. There is that pick, 5 versus 3 from that position. Very difficult to lose. Hail Mary attempt from always, but a good trade again. Dov man of the hour. And Falcons now with an opportunity to win this first map.
Well, they're saying easy. They're starting to pump themselves up. They're on a bit of a run. When we think about these majors, so many times historically teams can just go on a run. So many teams, you think back, Atlanta, Manchester, both featured teams from phase 1 into phase 3, but their runs fell short at this point. Falcons looking to go one further. They've got 2 opportunities to close out the opening map of Chalet. A reminder cafe to follow. After this is the map pick of Virtus.pro, where I would imagine they will feel far more comfortable. That border as a decider just feels so tantalizing because it really should be a great map for Falcons. Again, opening kills have been such a strong metric in this match. Not since round 2. As a team, lost a player first and gone on to win the round. So important for Virtus.pro here on the attack that they can enter the building cleanly, find the opening pick, use their numbers, hit site.
Already half the drone economy chipped away at by Falcons, so that's good work from defense. And so we may see VP become a little bit more reliant than usual on some of these info gathering tools like the Logic Bomb from Dockerby and the Bees from Grim. But what kind of play do they go for in this round? Bar, of course, in play. Just the 1 deployable shield for Falcons, presumably above. Aggressive through office once more. We've seen this prior.
There's one up close.
Shotgun.
There is a shotgun here for Robbie inside of the closet. Clearing it out is Joystick. Opening kill. Virtus.pro. They deal with the offset hold there from Robbie. Very aggressive to be extending that far into the closet. And now losing his life opens the door for Virtus.pro here. But can they convert? Still need to clear so much over towards library stairs. Dolph, though, does fall on the Warden. VP in a very winnable position here to try and send this to 6-5 and look to try and send it ultimately to then overtime.
A flank opportunity here for J-Lad. This could be the only win con remaining for Falcons in this round. Has a sound cue, but Joystick is watching the flank.
Easy kill for Joystick, and the flank from J-Lad will be easily picked apart. Guards feeling like he needs to make something happen here to bring numbers back in a fairer margin for Falcons. Down the hallway, unable to tap his way to success. Nitrocell ripped, praying, hoping, but nothing answered off the back of that Nitro. Hashom has to go quite large here. Over towards top library and on the move, maybe to get in an off-angle position, catch them off guard, but no. Nowhere is safe right now for Falcons on the map as VP are looking to make this flawless, and indeed they will. 6-5. Falcons now under the pressure. Only 1 more match point round available unless they find it here. It will be overtime forthcoming.
I've really enjoyed the positive intent from Falcons at this event so far, but in that prior round, Robbie a long way away from the objective in no man's land, got caught off guard, and as you mentioned, opening kills have been critical in this match, so losing that then put a lot of pressure on the rest of the hole, and VP, with a better read in towards the mirror hold top floor, did a better job in dealing with it that time around, and then an immense amount of pressure on the remaining defenders. So clean work VP, good read, good opening duel. Here was that essentially free kill from Joystick, who then also shut down the flank attempt here from J-Lad. So good round from Joystick. Always fun to watch him on the Ash ACOG farming in that particular round. Flawless for VP as they look to remain composed.
And the first flawless that we've had so far as well in this match. What a perfect time for Virtus.pro to do it in such a clean fashion. Final round of regulation. Falcons wanting to confirm the opening map, their opening map. If they lose this map, Cathay is quite daunting. But VP hot on their heels. 3 Nitrocells available for Falcons in this round, and I do wonder if they'll change their mindset, look to play a little closer to sight. How aggressive were they in that last round with Robbie towards Closet on a Bar Games defense? You don't need to extend, especially by yourself, that far. Credit to Virtus.pro and being able to get those clean kills. Snowwine, certainly though a site in which does enable the roam game. And the EE1D coupled with the Deimos death mark onto J-Lad. Good information early on here for VP.
Yeah, no mute on offer here from Falcons, so those death marks will be incredibly effective. What kind of read does VP now have? Joystick sent in off the back of that information. Looking to obtain map control, early contact in through office. J-Lad trying his best to peel back towards site. Has been rather successful so far, not cut off. Dan was not holding that rotation. And so for Falcons, they've been able to wither away about half the round rather successfully. J-Lad's still in library though, and Dov's supporting from the staircase. So keep that in mind. That could be huge for Falcons in this round.
I think Falcons have played this round perfectly so far. It's almost like the perceived pressure will fire a couple of shots, show some bodies up above, force them to clear out this top floor position, but ultimately looking to just fall back, play site, keep bodies up. We don't need to find a kill. More than happy for them to just keep it as a 5v5. You've got Vulcan canisters, a mirror window that needs to be dealt with. So much utility on the site itself that VP will need to extend over and deal with. As we get closer to the 1 minute mark now, Virtus.pro slowly making their way over to Snowwine.
And keep in mind the Fenrir in play as well. So the stall out util here from Falcons could be massive if VP are unable to clear it. The Zoda canister, as you can see, stalling out hard breach, 50 seconds now on the clock, and the pressure is beginning to mount for VP.
There's so little time. You've still got 3 Nitrocells as well for Falcons. This really should be 7-5 territory unless they mess this up. There's not enough time for VP. Nitrocell so strongly as it gets rid of Joystick. Now Falcons have got the player advantage, 1 HP for Hastron, but that's all you need. Never mind, Pasha comes in, cleans him out. This is about to get really messy here in the final stages of this round. Robbie falls and so does Dom. VP with a quick double, making it triple, and suddenly J-Lad the only one left up, and he's all the way top floor. VP pick apart the site. Shepard to stake the player, but it does not matter! Overtime to kickstart the quarterfinals!
Wow. I really didn't think that looked great from VP, but the belt of util was amazing in the final portion of that round. The flames over towards Con. Their attacking pattern was really clean. Able to win those entry fights in towards the objective, and then Falcons left in a position where they, unfortunately, were unable to respond. Now, they do have that tactical timeout still in pocket, and they'll bring it out here at the 6-6 scoreline. Falcons will be on attack. It was strong for them to kick things off, and we'll see if they're able to double down here in overtime. But it's been a really exciting match thus far. VP have maintained composure. Falcons, can they bring that energy back for overtime?
3 of the last 4 rounds for Virtus.pro bringing this back. Falcons looked like they were in control. They had this one, couldn't quite close that out in regulation. They do still have the double attack now in overtime, which could be enough to get the job done, but credit to VP. We know they like to play this low clock time management, but they were able to execute into sight so efficiently, so quickly, that even a team like Falcons just weren't ready for it. Have to ask though, with 20 seconds left, Chalet still top floor, was quite questionable in terms of positioning. They had one less player in the site when VP were hitting. That could have been a difference maker. So 6-6 to begin this best of 3. Again, it feels like this is a map that would be so important for Falcons. Cafe might not be their strong suit. It should suit the playstyle of Virtus.pro. Doesn't mean that they can't win it, but by golly, would VP be favored on that map. Defense to begin for Virtus.pro here on Chalet overtime.
So VP then over to Bar for this first overtime round. And again, as we've seen throughout these defensive rounds from VP, it's the double shield setup, so very traditional for the top floor extension. One top library stairs, one mez. And then you have the projectile catch of the Jaeger, and potentially some of Rooney Gates as well. No floors though this time around from Falcons again. And I think that may have cost them a little bit last time out, where the utility game was strong from the defense. So we'll see what kind of an impact it may have this time around. Good early drone work though for some office control. Doll as well on the Twitch drone, able to get to work. But it's J-Lad to find the first, and Joystick, who's been on fire over the last few rounds, is now in the grave.
Slight advantage for Falcons. They've been so clinical on their attacks, and even here into overtime after a little break from their defense. Is this going to peek up to the window? No, from always. Back to library stairs, he will hold on the frost. I would imagine there's a frost mat at the window as well. Deployable shield dealt with very easily by the frag grenade. So always positioned now, more susceptible. By the way, credit to Pasha, from an 0-5 start to 7-7, massive turnaround. So 7-2 essentially from the beginning of the game. He's got himself back in, and certainly a factor for Virtus.pro. Robbie looking to open up the walls. He's gone a little bit quiet as the game has progressed, but fortunately he's got J-Lad and Dov covering for a lot of the firepower. A little standoff here for Hashom outside on the balcony. 90 seconds left in this round to open up overtime. And while Falcons do have the player advantage, they still need more map control. They still need to put more pressure onto Virtus.pro.
Double secondary hard reach then through office for guards looking to expose this Mez position. Minute 15 on the clock. And the util belt from Falcons still strong. 3 Grim Bees and full bolts for the Capital. Fire grenades also available for Deimos. Meanwhile, Hasham again lurking in Mudroom. He loves this position.
Yellow ping. Oh, he couldn't take the shot initially. Maybe there was just a chance to find a quick kill. Double up the advantage. So many yellow pings going out. Drone into sight for the Falcons. Clearly getting so much information here. Will this be a kill found onto Shepard? He does still have a Nitrocell as well. Shots in towards Mudroom, but it's Robbie that gets the kill onto Always. Double down the advantage now for Falcons. Pasha looking to retake library stairs from his fallen comrade as now the shots go out. One down over towards office. Pasha still holding strong in this position. Looking to keep Falcons at bay from taking top floor.
Meanwhile, Falcons now looking to go a little bit more direct towards the objective. Barstock still being held though, 10 seconds.
Not a lot of time, in red time we go. Oh, shot from Shepard. He keeps Barstock under control as Pasha makes his way down library stairs. Turn around 180. It's so amazing, but loses out to the Mudroom. Push from Hashom. Out of mud. For such a dirty room, that push was oh so clean.
Patience rewarded then for Hasham in the prior round. We saw him sitting and waiting with so much information, but not the window of opportunity to capitalize upon it until the dying seconds of the round, with VP looking up, putting down one hell of a final stand, but not enough. In the end, the clear above, strong from Falcons, and Robbie again looking also sharp.
What a shot from Robbie.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to Pasha to be able to fall back and retake library stairs, keep that under control, clearly understanding. You've still got one in Barstock. If we can keep them at bay, up above, it means they have to then rush into sight. Nicely done from Hashom. And just like that, Falcons once again with map point, as they had in regulation, but BP, they go on to the attack to try and send us to a 15th round. and send us all the way.
Attack has reigned supreme on this map so far. Can Falcons subvert expectation, close it out 8-6, or is there still some life left here on Chalet for VP to try and capitalize upon? Different site for the second OT round. We go to dining. And this composition from Falcons has me excited. Hasham has been lurking a lot here at the major. And it's the Vigil Boss G in play.
The crowd finding their voice for Falcons as they're once again in a position that they can look to take this opening map. Looking to dare to dream for this MENA roster. For a region that has never made top 4. They are oh so close as they've ever been before. VP though on their attacks looked just as good as Falcons, and this is going to be a very difficult round to judge. Deimos in play and a death mark early on to Dov, holding top position inside of Solar, and they are right next to each other on this rappel. Who's going to want to try and take the contact? I think they both happy to just fall off. But Dov is a little bit stuck. Does have Robbie in bedroom for cover.
How much utility are VP willing to invest into this position? Deimos death mark below. They could send out Capital Bolts, Grim Bees, even an air jab if they really wanted to triple down.
Oh,
but Joystick does find the kill.
Nicely done from Joystick to play off of the death mark. The pressure coming from VP's Deimos of always has been converted into an opening kill. And they lose the Malusi. They lose their top fragger. Robbie, though, equal to the measure. 5-4 in favor of VP. As that clock ticks down once again, though, VP is so good when there's little time remaining. So what can Falcons now do over the next 30 to 40 seconds to try and regain control? That's not going to be it, not at all. Pasha, massive kill, and suddenly he's going positive from an 0-5 start to 9-8. And VP with the 2-player advantage, more pressure. Shots onto Hasham, his health now falls as well. Chalet's not sure where the pressure is coming from. But how about that with the Boss G? Pasha loses his life. Joystick, though, gets rid of the encroaching Jalad, and Dan gets rid of Robbie. And with this, you know where we're going. A 15th round will be required on the opening map of this quarterfinal best of 3. No Vigil shenanigans here. All 15 rounds required, and another match point chance for Falcons has been squandered. Their third squandered, gods. 3 chances, only 1 more. This map could be stolen by VP.
And again, a map win here for Virtus.pro could be their best path to victory in the series. If it is to go to a third, presuming they are to win Cafe Map 2, it could be very, very interesting. But Falcons need to win this opening map, if that is to be the expectation.
I mean, that's the thing, right? You can sit here with the storylines and the expectations and say, well, I feel like Falcons on border will be very strong. That's the deciding map. And if we get a Chalet win here, it doesn't even matter what happens on Cafe. But alas, on Cafe, VP should be favored. That will be their map. That should suit their playstyle. It will be very, very difficult for Falcons. It won't be impossible, though. Just as border wouldn't be impossible for VP either.
No.
So what do you do now with your Falcons? Because you've squandered so many chances, so many opportunities have gone begging. 3 map point opportunities lost. And they bring guards on the blitz. They might just want to amp up that tempo. The Doc could be the Finker. Do they go for a fast hit? Maybe VP won't be ready for this.
Bar gaming again from VP.
Could they go big window?
Do they go direct? It's a big call to make in the 15th round.
It would be huge in a quarterfinal at a major to just send the blitz in, try and clear bar stock. They hold for now, though. Falcons, a team that's always very calculated with their attacks. They move as one big unit. Everyone is always on the same page with the same idea. And right now, they just sit and wait. But I imagine, is there a world in which this could be a fast vault in, try and rush through in towards games, and they're going to go for it. Guard straight in towards Bar. He's trying to clear out said Bar, but he's just taking shots. Never cleared out. Backstall. Shepard. Beautiful positioning. And the frag grenade, well, it displaces his position. Doesn't find the kill. Pasha does. He doubles down. And Virtus chances. And a 2v5. One last hope is in the hands of J-Lad and Dove. They find one, a second quickly, could change the narrative. A chance, but no, joystick on the long angle. And suddenly down to J-Lad, but surely VP from here will not squander their opportunity the way that Falcons have.
One small misread from Falcons in that backstore position, completely unraveling their attack, and with it, more than likely the map. The follow-on from that, well, is it the series now in disrepute? A 1 versus 4.
Makes his way down Library Hallway, should have a chance, and no chance, always VP and EU as they come back from seemingly the death to take Chalet away from Falcons. Virtus.pro, 1-0 here in the quarterfinal.
It's a big map for VP, they sense it, they know it. This series now very much in their hands, but Cafe, not an impossibility from a Falcons who still looks strong so far.
Well, I think Falcons will be kicking themselves. This is now where for them it's all about resetting mentally as quick as they possibly can. They've got another map coming up very shortly, and while Cafe certainly favored for Virtus.pro, Falcons can't be worried about that. They can't be worried about the fact that they had 4 opportunities. They just need to lock in and try to bounce back as we head over to the desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. You've done that game proud. Really unfortunate for Falcons, okay?
Yeah.
They had their opportunities. They looked good for so long in that matchup. But, Lax, is this just VP diff? Is this the experience and prowess?
Absolutely. And, you know, I was worried, especially in that first half, how far they went down. But they immediately brought it back. And towards the end of that game is what you saw. VP started to control the tempo. And you immediately saw the transition of Falcons where they started to slow down. They started to respect VP and what their game was and what their strategy was and what their defenses and attacks were going to be. So it's good that now they have this going into Cafe for VP, but they have to keep the pressure going and not let Falcons get a foothold and keep that aggressive train going.
Yeah, it was the consistency from Virtus.pro that really got them over that edge, bringing it to the overtime, because right out the gate, Falcons was so aggressive. They were keeping Virtus.pro on their toes, and once the side swapped and Virtus.pro got their attacks in, that's where we saw the historic VP, the one that goes solar over time and time again, slow but methodical, slowly draining out the time, and they tried to consistently slow Falcons down, get that opening kill. And yes, Falcons did have a good amount of responses, but unfortunately, as time went on, they ran out of ideas. 12 of 15 rounds were decided by an opening pick. Not really, but obviously the conversion rate is extremely high. How critical is that, I guess, for the rest of this series? Do you think that that's something that we need to track?
It's definitely an important factor to take into account, but both these teams were actually doing a very good job on their entries, as you can see across the board. Pretty even across the board. But yeah, it is an important thing that if you can walk away with that, you can keep crippling that man advantage on the other side and just keep dwindling it down. You should be the team coming out on top. But again, for VP specifically, you're getting this win. Going into now Cafe, you are sitting pretty. And like I said, if VP wants to get it done here, they have to get it done in a 2-0. They are already one step over that hurdle. They just have to close it out here going into this Cafe.
Yeah, if you look at how the opening kills were going, it really looked like a Virtus.pro game that they had the control of. Even though they lost that lead early, they were constantly managing Falcons' aggression. And that was the biggest thing that we wanted to see from Virtus.pro. And they were throwing in some unique style to Chalet to keep Falcons on their toes. So that's what we wanted to see. The risk was taken. Chalet is a map that Virtus.pro is good at, but they are consistent at. Teams know what to expect. And I don't think Falcons was expecting the little twist that VP were able to bring to keep them on their toes. And that's why Falcons, unfortunately, just ran out of gas. VP keeping things unique, yes, but still Falcons had adaptations of their own. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I just wanted to touch on was how good Falcons was at reading Virtus.pro, because they're a region that we just don't see much of, and this was amazing. Every time Falcons went for some type of an attack, they were just constantly, the next round, Falcons adapted directly to what the issue was and completely shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this round specifically, like you were saying, they're quick to adapt. They're quick to identify where something went wrong the previous round prior, and even a round that I had as well was round 4, where they brought the gridlock to thwart off the clash, so they couldn't make use of it. And it just goes to show that regardless of an aggressive team, they can still play a fundamental game and understand where they need to fix the errors, where the mistakes are being made, and how they can collapse it for the next round and make it go almost flawless.
Yeah, Virtus.pro's consistency inevitably was just able to drown out Falcons. But Falcons, when they lost the round, they understood exactly what Virtus.pro did. The main brim of the attack, the main brim of the defense, whatever lost Falcons the round. The next one, they completely auto-corrected, they shut it down, and they made sure that they weren't creating that opening again for Virtus.pro. But Virtus.pro has been there so many times that once something got in their way, they just knew exactly what to pivot to, and it just showed that the experience is what got them that win.
That's the problem at the end of the day. You've got two teams with polarizing playstyles, but also polarizing experiences. Hopefully, Falcons can bring it back after the break as we head to Cafe.
Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel? Let's go.
An underdog storyline that unfortunately may be coming to an abrupt halt here in the quarterfinals. Falcons, they looked okay. They looked like they were really in the mix on Chalet. And by okay, I actually mean they looked like they were going to win for the last 3 rounds. Unfortunately, they don't do it. Now their fate is decided on Cafe. Lax, I know both of these maps are, look, both teams are proficient on this map, but who do you lean to?
Well, when you look at how far this tournament has gone, neither team has looked very convincing on it. If you're looking at VP specifically here, they've won it once, they've lost it once, both in 7-5 situations or a 5-7. But for me, again, your VP, you like Cafe. This is a good map for you, especially coming off that win after Chalet, figuring out how Falcons want to approach this game, figuring out how they want to approach them as a whole. You are sitting in the seat, the driver's seat here. Again, the biggest thing for me is if they can thwart off these Falcon attacks and not being caught off guard, not letting anything slip through the cracks, and being able to instantly punish Falcons in every single instance that they possibly can. And like I said, putting the foot on the gas. And if they can't do that, Falcons are going to keep walking away with these rounds and getting into these positions, forcing players out of positions, and just walking away with a freebie.
I mean, the biggest takeaway for VP is they didn't really anticipate Falcons to do anything crazy. We saw the way that they played. It was very consistent. It's exactly what we've seen from Virtus.pro before in the past. They didn't expect Falcons to really shock them. I think at a base level, Virtus.pro believes, I guess every team really needs to believe it, but they believe that they can just play their game and they will be better. Now, when you take them to a map like Cafe, which you can do that a lot more successfully, that is VP's playing grounds because it is a defender-sided map, and that's what we are known to see VP feel the most comfortable. Now, the one X factor for Falcons is being able to get those opening kills. And when it came down to Chalet, that's an aggressive map. Their attacks are strong on that map. Now, you're going to a map where the defenses are more of the favor, and that's where we didn't see Chalet work for Falcons. Now, on a map like Cafe, there's a lot more areas for the rat play, those little opening kills that Falcons is really good at, to be able to be expanded on and maybe catch Virtus.pro lacking a little bit. Because if you don't, if you let Virtus.pro do that step-by-step process, so far we've seen it, they will draw you out towards the last round and they will inevitably just take it from there.
It's exciting. Virtus.pro are only 1 map away from being our first semi-finalists. It's time to go to the stars of the show of the Jake and Guz podcast.
That's right. It's Jake from Jake and Guz. Guz from Jake and Guz. Robbie, well done. We've got a big second map coming our way, though. Cafe is a daunting task, unfortunately, for Falcons after they dropped the ball on Chalet. Arguably should have won it. They really should have taken that opening map. They failed to do so. This, though, is a map in which Virtus.pro should be incredibly comfortable and confident. So it's all now on Falcons to be that underdog.
Yep. Cafe has been a defensive paradise throughout this event so far. It's going to be tough for Falcons to break it down.
All right, Montreal, it's time to choose a side. Are you with the underdogs of Falcons, or are you with VP to try and make the semi-final? Let's get into Cafe! Well, so far the crowd has been a bit 50-50 split in terms of these two teams. I've heard Falcons chants, I've heard Virtus.pro chants. Who's going for Falcons? Okay. What about Virtus.pro to take this map and book a place in the semi-finals. I think it stands at, again, 50-50, but this match itself is probably not going to be 50-50. VP, absolutely the favorite of the two teams when it comes to this map. The good news, if there is any though, guys, is that Falcons will begin on defense, and with that you can gain the momentum and hopefully get some rounds on the board and just put the pressure onto VP.
Well, momentum is one thing, but as shown in just one example, VP taking on SSG, VP only won one round in that attacking half, then came back to clean sweep defense. So Falcons need as large of a lead as they can possibly get in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, almost to the point of 5-1 might be the metric that they need. 4-2 might be enough. We'll see as we head into Cafe. 4 opportunities in the end the Falcons had, 2 in regulation, 2 in overtime, and they could not claim a single one of those. Now, Border, the deciding map, if we get there, certainly a map that suits Falcons very, very well, but they're going to have to play now on a map that maybe doesn't suit them as well. Falcons, in fact, on this map are 0-2 at the major so far, last playing against Base Clan. So while they've at least had some preparation, they've at least played this map, they've yet to actually find a win on it.
So in terms of the operator bans, VP again not taking any chances with the Monty taken off the board. Falcons pretty much path of the course in terms of the Ying and the Valk combination, but the castle pick from VP a little bit more intriguing, a key operator especially for top floor extensions over towards shop, and those barriers as well can be used on various other objectives. So it is just one tool taken off the board for defense, another layer of utility that can be used to stall out pushes. Probably will have more of an impact on Falcons and their attacks, of course, but we'll have to wait for that second half.
64% defensive win rate on Cafe makes it actually the most defender-sided map of the major so far. We'll see if that can hold true for Falcons as they begin on the defense. For Virtus.pro, though, what a comeback on Chalet. They looked down and out. They didn't quite have the control that Falcons had, but they were able to dig into their bag of experience, winning 6 of the last 9 rounds to eventually overcome quite a few deficits, take Chalet, take the map pick of Falcons, and put themselves now 1 map away from a semi-final appearance tomorrow. We'll see what they've got in the opening half, and if they can start strong on attack, guys, then suddenly it really puts the pressure on Falcons, puts them right up against the wall.
Well, such is the case on a classic Cafe attack. Things spearheaded from the roof initially. Gridlock track stingers in play, as well as Nomad. And so the combination of the stingers and the air jabs as well will make flanking a challenge for defense. Shock drone from Dan, ineffective in through shop as he tries to clear the Goya canister. But he does have good information down below in reading. That's Dov playing that position, currently flicking info himself, one of which is, I believe, a hacked drone. But Nitro Cell down below, critical, and Joystick identifies that and wants to contest.
Yeah, already in towards Pillow, can open up straight in towards reading. Play off that yellow ping, and the Mozzie just completely caught napping. Dov will go down, opening kill for Virtus.pro here to begin their attack. So far, they look very nice. Yes, time will become a factor, but Claymores get set outside for any potential jump outs, and VP just quietly getting some control. J-Lad maybe expecting a push through Pillar. And eventually the drop to come from top red for VP as they've got shot control. J-Lad goes to the swing, aggressive, finds one, but traded back through the hatch as Joystick will find a second in the round and keeps the numbers firmly with Virtus.pro going into the final minute of the round. They're up 4-3.
Yeah, so 60 seconds then, and guards under a bit of pressure over towards top white, spotted out by the Grim. They still do have white corridor control to play around, but it's limited. And Hasham is down below, could find himself on an island as well. Meanwhile, always Cocktail Balk.
They got Cocktail, they've completely walked in and one on the rappel. So great map control right now for Virtus.pro, but down below, guards catching always off guard. 30 seconds left, and suddenly you lose a little bit of that semblance of control of your VP. Yes, you've still got shot, but 2 outside on the exterior. Coming in late is Shepard in towards reading now. There's not much time for him to get upstairs. Guards gets rid of him. And suddenly now it flips in the round, advantage to Falcons.
Still 2 players below, eventually rotation, 2 come through, 15 seconds on the clock, Joystick taken down deep, and Hasham to find the final pick.
It just falls apart for VP. So much of the round was great, calculated, clean. But as soon as it came time to actually get into sight and try and hit the site itself, they just fell apart, crumbled. A lot of it, though, because of the hold down below from guards inside of Reading, catches up one of the players in Cocktail, and from there, basically, the round just fell apart. You had a little bit of control over towards Cocktail for all of 5 seconds. That gets taken away. The round then falls away for VP. Falcons on the board.
That was a really aggressive 2-1 split from Falcons, 2 below, 1 above. They had a lot of faith in that hold, and it managed to pay dividends. Good start to the round, though. Joystick off the back of that info from Dan. Opening kill, that was massive. But then J-Lad reaggressed, and this hold down below, really fruitful. VP tried to play into it 20 seconds into the round, then went for a half-baked drop bar. They didn't look particularly confident in the closing phases of that opening round.
I think it's also something Falcons probably needed coming into this map after, well, their mental maybe being tested, not closing out Chalet, not quite getting the map win that they should have arguably gotten. A good way to start Cafe, to bounce back, kind of forget about Chalet altogether. Focus now, lock in on Cafe. Good start, round win, everyone feels good. And for VP, I think they'll be certainly feeling like that was a round that could get away from them. They'll be disappointed. Getting these attacking rounds on the board early would certainly take Falcons mentally out of this game. These attacking rounds will be hard to come by. Spawn peak, successful from Robbie. And if this rising superstar can get going on this map, it could be the fortunes needed for Falcons to find success on Virtus.pro's map pick.
Yeah, certainly not a poor performance from Robbie back on Chalet, but it was 11-11, so not quite that X factor that we've come to know him for at this event so far. So you're right, if he's able to fire up here on Cafe, well, we may well actually have a series on our hands. 5-4 advantage for Falcons then for the second round. Parsha able to find J-Lad, and that's the smoke.
Yeah, the smoke goes down. No gas papers for the remainder of the round. Pressure over towards Pixel. Good repel game right now from VP. Keeping pressure towards Lounge. They'll eventually look to try and clear out this top floor position. Force Falcons back. Robbie looking to still contest. Does have another Kiba barrier that can replace the old one. 2 Nitro cells available for Falcons, Guards and Dom. Robbie able to displace that air jab, so wastes that piece of utility from Pasha on the Nomad. And Dov actually going for a wander through bar. Falcons looking to play Cafe defense aggressively.
Yeah, I like it. Contesting on the exterior.
Droned immediately.
Yeah.
The timing on that one as he slipped in towards shot, repositions.
Oh, he's trapped now. Always has the cross from the primary skylight, and Joystick has an inkling as to where he may be.
Oh, this could be rough unless he can get some help from Robbie over towards Pixel. He's dead, yeah. As soon as Dolph looked to take that position, it was always going to be his grave. Good positioning for Virtus.pro to punish that. With that death, Robbie will fall back, give up a lot of that lounge control. Look at all the drones right now for Virtus.pro. So much information being acquired, and it's allowing Joystick straight through bar. Easy kill onto Robbie. He had no idea the Joystick had already elected to push deep in towards bar. Top floor control being now established for VP. Hashom still has a Vulcan canister that he could pop. Try and fall back, drop down, place sight with guards. But Joystick hasn't cleared him. He thought it was only 1 up. Easy kill for Hasham. Headshot kill as well is clean. Round back alive for Falcons. Hasham with 2 critical kills. Oh, he just drops the skylight. 3 for Hasham. Last on the rappel. And Falcons might steal the second round.
Shepard now 30 seconds isolated. Needs to rotate. Has the drop skylight or red options limited.
Huge play from Hasham in Cocktail. Simply just mistroned or not taken care of. 1v2 for Shepard. Not a lot of time. Guards up close with the shotgun. Hasham there as well for good measure. They've got both players here. And as soon as contact is made, they can swing together as one. Surely a second round will be found. Shot from Shepard. No time remaining. He has to stick the kit. He will not. Falcons take it. In a nail-biting second round, Falcons go 2-0 up.
Wow, huge from Hasham. Massive hold over towards Cocktail. Left unattended, and then good discipline there. In a 2 versus 1, that pretty quickly devolved into a 1v1, able to play the time win con really well from that position.
Timeout called already by Virtus.pro.
Early.
It's early, it's very early, but clearly not happy with the way that they're playing right now in Cafe. They know that these attacking rounds will be required, at least 1 to 2 of them, certainly, and so give themselves enough time to adjust and try and find a couple over the next few rounds to put the pressure then back onto Falcons. Falcons are the ones that need these rounds first. The onus is on them to do well defensively. So they're not really changing too much in terms of the narrative being on defense cafe. But these rounds have both been close. These rounds have both been winnable for VP, and maybe they just want to talk things out to solidify going into the final 4 rounds of this opening half. Kitchen coming up here in the 3rd round as we go back to the replays. And again, things were going pretty well for Virtus.pro.
They were until they weren't. Joystick able to push forward. Ash, Akon. Always a formidable combo, but then Hasham left unchecked. 2 massive kills. And despite the best efforts here of Shepard with the cross established, he was unable to just land that secondary transfer. Gave an opportunity for Hasham to run away and win the round for Falcons.
That was close, looking back actually from his perspective and how close that was to maybe find the kill, win the round, and maybe they wouldn't have even had to take that tactical timeout. Something to consider for the later stages of this map. VP have expended their tactical timeout already. If things start to get out of hand from here, they have no way to really control the pace outside of the server. 2-0 start for Falcons after losing their map pick of Chalet in staggering circumstances. At least a good start here on Cafe.
So Kitchen we go, and it's full investment for a Coffee default plant protection in terms of defense, wanting to deny that position. Most notably the Echo and the Goyo combination can control that space on the objective for quite some time. Equally though, VP probably eager to go top down. They have Vert in play, and again double flank watch as well, so the Gridlock Nomad combination.
Shepard on the blitz hasn't been necessarily an operator played for him all that much this event. Typically Pasha would be the one to play this particular operator, but they've changed stuff. I'm going to keep the Nomad on Pasha. What VP discussed in a very early tactical timeout coming into the 3rd round. We know statistically that teams do perform coming out of these tactical timeouts. So a big 3rd round coming up here for both of these 2 teams. Falcons would love to just keep this momentum going. Oh, well that should have been a kill onto Robbie. It will be, no, surely yes, okay, Joystick. Oh, that was a little bit unclean, but still the result that really he should have got. He does get opening kill for VP, 2nd time in 3 rounds, and now the blitzer Shepard moving forward, thinks about the pistol, puts it back temporarily. Dove over towards Bakery. They can't really help out here. No one can really help out here to deal with this blitz. Although Shepard's still very low, it's an intriguing little standoff here with Hasham. Pistol out, and they still can't find each other. No one can get rid of each other, and this might just be a stalemate as Hasham gets out. What? They did not have the Yokai to help him out there in reading.
Getting out of there is insane. Big from Hasham again. Is that another key moment from him to help Falcons get another round across the line? Shepard's so low now on HP, so keep that in mind for the late round, but there are no impacts left, and that may be enough to just give him a little bit more life. 60 seconds in the round, and Hasham now top red stairs. Everybody else on the objective.
This is a free kill. He makes his way down into red shirt. Oh, drones him. Always do the due diligence, but he pops the head, doesn't matter. Dan wants the contact and wins it. Gave the opportunity to Hasham. VP, once again with the numbers. Yokai trying to play off of it this time with the bursts, but Chalet can't find the angle. Nicely tucked inside a freezer is Shepard, even on 9 HP, able to stay alive. Vulcan Canisters is still in a good spot, Guz.
Yeah, it's going to stall a lot of time. Chalet just needs to hold on for his life, and Guards has the cross. 20 seconds on the clock.
On the ward, and Glass is activated, waiting for the eventual push in towards Kitchen. Time, massive factor, even though VP have got an extra player up. There's so little time remaining, and Shepard's so low as well, with the diffuser in hand, inside a freezer, and the first kills now going the way of Falcons. The brothers both able to combine. Guards now moving out of VIP. Mike stepped on, Shepard shut down. That's 3 in a row for Falcons here on Cafe.
Clean from Falcons, 3 rounds on the trot, and they're not backing down. VP expending their tack and not being rewarded there on that Kitchen attack. The stall out utility played a massive role in that round from Falcons, and I will also note the presence of mind from Dove over towards Bakery to be ready for the back hit.
Well, last time that we saw Falcons on this map, they only got 1 defensive round against FaZe Clan. So this is already a significant improvement now against Virtus.pro. They are a very good defensive team, but this is a map that really should be more suited to Virtus.pro. And while VP have had their chances throughout the early portions of these rounds, even sometimes throughout the middle portions, the late round, Falcons have been switched on. They're locked in, and they're 3-0 up. 3 rounds to go in this opening half, but it's all about capitalizing now on this defensive-sided momentum.
And how much of this may end up being false hope. We keep reiterating just how defender-sided this map has been, and VP themselves at a 1-5 deficit against SSG were able to recover the result.
There's every world in which Falcons go 5-1 up and VP do the exact same thing, maybe even get 6 straight on defense. That is the potential reality. Right now, though, the actual reality is that Falcons, at least, have been able to bounce back from a disappointing ending on Chalet, with now an exquisite start here on Cafe. 3-0, 3 defensive rounds, yes, but you've got to just do the job that's in front of you. And they're able to do that so far, even with still some good pressure from VP in these early rounds. Into the 4th round we go, and so far, again, opening kills have been somewhat controlled by VP. The early portions controlled by VP. They are doing a good job of getting these early kills. The Falcons just better in the late round.
So this is the 4th round now. VP playing double flank watch with the Nomad Gridlock. And I suppose on paper it makes sense. The Jungle Falcons roster that so far at this event has not shied away from flanking and playing wrap positions.
Yeah.
Is that compromising them in other portions of the game though? Time will tell. Flashbang's down for Pasha as well, so that will help with the util clear. As the drone work begins in through shop and the drop to follow. VP looking for some quick ground early.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of flashes, only the 2 flashes available for VP. They actually don't have a super amount of utility. Also stacking on the breach charges and claymore, so only 1 more frag, 2 more flashes. It's not going to help going, later into this round. So they probably need to find some picks early on, as they've somewhat been doing so in this half. But as the clock starts to tick down, it just feels like Falcons are keeping a lot of the utility. They've still got 3 Nitro cells. They've still got good position. This mirror window hasn't been dealt with yet. Well, VP have got red control and shop control, and that's pretty standardized for a bar cocktail defense. They're finding it difficult to actually get pressure onto the Falcons players defensively, who are still very well set up.
Joystick still with an Ash charge in hand and can be used to deal with the mirror window.
We've got
pressure elsewhere from the Rappel to shoot the canister. That's clean. 50 seconds on the clock, and Chalet under a lot of pressure elsewhere. Dov for the first pick. Chalet forced out of position off the back of the frag grenade, and he falls as well.
Oh, Robbie goes for the peek over to Pixel, and he loses his life. A little struggle start for him on Cafe. 3-3, shot double. SMG 11 for guards, finds 2. Now, though, Hashom needs to go big once again, as he did from this very position earlier in this half. Always sticking the plant. Hashom starts to make his way out, but Pasha is watching. An attacking round found for Virtus.pro as they clear out the top floor of Cafe. They are on the board.
Clean work from VP. Able to go a little bit more direct towards side instead of focusing efforts over towards that white corridor util clear, and it certainly worked out for them. A couple of hero attempts there from Falcons in salvaging the round back, particularly that SMG in hand, but not enough with the coverage of Pasha, dismissing Hasham, who has been phenomenal throughout this map so far, but not a whole lot he could do from that position, isolated over towards Cocktail. VP finally with 1 on the board, and they've proven prior that that has been enough for them. Anything from here would certainly be a bonus, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think 1 is probably not enough. I think Falcons should be able to offset 5-1 and do well on their own attacking half. But it does put VP in a much better position going into the final 2 rounds of this half. They probably only need 1 more to be super comfortable. But 1 at least is on the board, which is quite redeeming considering it's been all Falcons to begin here on Cafe. VP just probably needed a confidence boost, and a lot of these rounds they've actually been very much in for Virtus.pro. Now they finally get the reward for effort, because there's a couple of rounds prior that they probably felt they should have actually been able to win. The opening kills on this map, though, haven't quite been the same as Chalet. They're not translating, guys. 4 rounds through, only 1 has actually converted into a round win. So quite the contrast to the more open map of Chalet.
Shock drone in play, and again, Dan gets caught by a mute jabber, which is unfortunate. Might be able to use the other to shoot it out, but in the meantime, that shock drone has already been dealt with. So good awareness there from Falcons. The shock drones here, of course, a critical tool in dealing with those Goyo canisters earlier in the round and giving the attack more of a buffer towards the execute portion. So a small little win for Falcons to kick things off.
Just take anything you can get right now in what is a tense quarterfinal. These two teams have already proven to be quite evenly matched as per the 7-8 scoreline on Chalet in the opening map. And even here right now, Falcons leading currently on Cafe. The map pick of Virtus.pro in towards shop is Joystick. Dov once again playing that cocktail position. Does have a Nitrocell. So does Guards. Both playing very different positions though. Can Robbie get involved? 2 and 3 now. After a pretty decent start here on Cafe, he hasn't quite been able to win his battles. And certainly a lot of firepower that's missing right now for Falcons as the mirror window will get dealt with by the breach charge.
Ooh, a lot of pressure over towards Cocktail, but Falcons able to peel off, but Robbie will remain. Mirror window still up, and Joystick looking to clear. Does Robbie look to hold his ground up above, or will he elect to rotate?
Oh, Court, that is just pushing out into the open from Robbie. Makes a critical error. He goes down, he's struggling a little bit on Cafe, but what a shot back from J-Lad. Okay, they needed a very swift response and they find it 4-4 going into the final minute. Another death mark going out from the Deimos of always. Now onto Hashom towards White Stairs.
So 50 seconds then on the clock, the death mark to keep Hashom at bay. What kind of an impact may that have towards the late round? 40 seconds, and we'll see what VP elect to go for in terms of execute. Goyo canister default, that's dealt with in a timely fashion. And the vertical control just forcing Falcons back. Keep in mind, both Nitros already expended by the defense, but 3 smoke canisters still up, now 2.
Yeah. 2 impacts remaining as well, still for Hashom. 20 seconds remaining in a 4v4. Another super crucial end of round here where both teams could theoretically take it from here. Who can next find the kill? Who can take advantage? Through the gas bay runs Shepard straight deep in towards Reading. He will not plant default. He does get off it though. At the moment, there's little time. He can no longer get off it. He needs to stick to plant. Dov and Hashom, can they deny the plan? Hashom's all up above by himself. He cannot deny the plan. Virtus.pro may get back-to-back attacking round wins on Cafe. And after a strong start from Falcons, VP have got themselves into a very good position.
Very fine margins in that previous round. It was the correct call for VP to go deep in the face of that utility. They almost got caught, then it almost got denied, but the coverage, especially from above on the vert, was really clean from VP. Just able to win out those fights, apply enough counter pressure onto the denial attempt from Falcons with that 2 rounds in the half, and they're in a really good position now.
Well, dare I say, as we go into the final round of this half, it feels like it could maybe slip away from Falcons if they can't find a little bit of success in these more later stages of the rounds. Oh, credit to VP as they were just able to just hit sight so cleanly on their execution. 2 attacking rounds in a row has set them up very nicely now for an eventual second half on defense where they will be very difficult to dislodge. Falcons must win this round, you would imagine, guys. They must find a 4th defensive round, or it will be incredibly difficult.
They have shown strength, though, on Kitchen prior. We cast our minds back. It's where we saw the Blitz in play, and the Goyo was ultra effective alongside that Echo, looking to deny the shield play and stall out time for the execute. So there's still an opportunity. There's still a lifeline in play for Falcons, but it's essentially do or die at this point. It would be remarkable if they are able to bring back a 3-3 scoreline. J-Lad, though, does get the first, and Joystick, who's been playing well so far, acknowledges the fact that was a clean shot. Falcons with the advantage.
Yeah, but the advantage hasn't necessarily been all that impactful here on Cafe. Only twice has it converted into a round win. And they find a way to do so here in this. At the very least, you've got the advantage, not so much for the round win, but just having extra bodies on the defense. Your defense then is not spread so thin. 4 targets available on the Deimos of Dan to choose from for his death marks, who he wants to try and track down eventually with that Vendetta. And Joystick off the board is actually the top fragger for VP, so quite a lot of firepower now. not going to be there for the later stages of this 6th round to close out the opening half. Right now for Falcons, it's really probably just play sight. Don't have to do too much. Don't over-peak, don't over-aggress. Play sight, force VP to push into you when they don't have all of the numbers necessary to play that trade game.
VP still with critical utility. They have breaching charges, skeleton key, secondary hard breach. So they can open up lines of sight down below.
Good info right now here from Dov on the Yokai. Playing the Echo. He has been droned out though. Only 3 drones remaining as well, cuz something to keep in mind in terms of VP and their information game. It's not going to be as prevalent as previous rounds. They don't have that much drone information left. With a minute remaining, you've only got 3 drones.
Can VP find something on Vert? Falcons not really presenting any opportunities for the attack to take. And again, Dov continuing to gain really good info for the potential back hit.
This is nothing bakery, so it means you can kind of adjust your positioning on site. You're not going to be expecting that bakery hit. So much pressure so far from above. It means Freezer will be the drop. Freezer will be the play, and they should be ready for it, but nevertheless, guards will fall. That's the Warden dealt with. A couple of flashes now can certainly do some impactful plays for VP. Another one comes through from Dan. So from the 5-4, it becomes 3-4. Robbie up close, and he too can't win his battle. VP just dominating towards Freezer. 20 seconds left, and again, Falcons are just falling apart on side. Pasha, Dan, all doing tremendous jobs, and J-Lad needs to find almost the ace, but Robbie with the Vulcan canister finds the kill. Dan searching for the kill with the death mark, chasing him down the keeper barrier. He gets away, hiding inside a code check, and the time will expire. Time runs out for Virtus.pro as the kill was left behind. He made his decision. What a keeper barrier. What a round. Falcons up 4-2.
Wow, are you serious? Wow. That's why you always keep one in the
How
pocket.
pivotal is a round and a moment such as that for the landscape of this series? Could that be a defining moment here? If that doesn't hype the team up, I don't know what doesn't going into the second half of Falcons. For VP though, so close to finding that 3rd round, which could have been oh so devastating.
So a 2-round lead for Falcons as we prepare for the second half. As proven though throughout the event, it may not be enough.
What a shot.
Yeah.
On the drop through the soft wall.
Oh, Dov got caught. I mean, everything that could go wrong for Falcons went wrong until this moment right here.
Even just 1 single second extra there, and that may have been a win for VP. 4-2 going into the second half here of our second map. Falcons lead at the moment, but for how long can they hold this lead or potentially extend it? Now going on to this attacking side. Again, Cafe, the most defender-sided map at the tournament. VP have found their 2 attacking rounds. They've done their job. Now they can kind of sit back on defense. Falcons need to be the ones to try and take a few attacking rounds to at least potentially get it to OT at minimum for what would be the second map in a row. They bring the Blitz, they bring the Bravo.
Yeah, I'm really keen to see what kind of value Dov can get here on the Bravo with the clutch drones. You think about the utility and the lineup for the defense.
Yeah.
Most notably, Fenrir and Capcan probably, and Aruni to a certain extent. Outside of default cameras as well. BPCs even, so
it's a lot.
Dov can get a lot done here. Proxies.
This could be an operator that has so much impact outside of actually shooting a gun. With these clutch drones being able to hack so much utility. Sawyer Gate successfully taken as well, and already early on with the first clutch drone success. He's just getting whatever he wants right now. Another BPC, another Sawyer Gate, cleaning up a lot of this utility. So far, decent start to the round for Falcons in terms of the utility battle. Drop down, top red, back. Oh, that was a very aggressive swing though from Dov. His gun wasn't even up. They're falling apart. At least Guards was able to get 1 back, but now needs to find another very quickly. Stuck deep inside a bar freezer as Dan. Guards thinking about trying to send this one in. The flash unsuccessful, not from that distance. And suddenly, despite the util game from Falcons looking pretty decent to start off the back of the Bravo, they've just lost all of their gunfights. Hasham by himself in a 1v4, and VP should very well start this second half with a round win on defense.
And it's confirmed from Dan. The only mining round we have seen thus far, and it's a success for the defense.
That's concerning if you Falcons, though, in the way that that round was won. It didn't even come down to the site. Just simply lost all of your gun battles as you're pushing in. That should be the aspect of Falcons that is a strength of theirs. Credit to VP, taking the early fights, the early contact, and winning out very comfortably, may I add. Kitchen to follow, heading into the 8th round. Still that lead for Falcons, but watch it dissipate slowly and surely if they cannot find these attacking rounds.
They're really clean from always over towards Cocktail. Run out as well and play. Guards not really in a position to be particularly effective on the blitz as well. So good work from VP, stalwart in their defense, winning key fights up above, maintaining that pressure and tempo that really is required against Falcons. And with that, the lead just slowly begins to shrink.
2 highest rated player on the team as well for Falcons. Robbie and Dov, 3-6, 2-6. That's your best 2 players coming into these quarterfinals. And while Falcons can certainly mitigate Chalet and Guards and Hashem, all capable and all playing well right now, your 2 best players need to stand up now in a crucial half that could determine whether we head to Border or whether VP head to a semi-final appearance tomorrow. And while it's not all eyes on just those 2, certainly we'll have to raise their impact levels. Right now, it seems like, though, for VP, everyone, once again, pulling their weight. It is a strength of theirs.
So a VIP extension in play and some early pressure in response from the attack. Deployable shield already dealt with, and that will aid Falcons in the late round if they are to go for a freezer drop. In the meantime, drone work top floor, and so likely will go for somewhat of a map clear. That being said, everybody from the defense is on the first floor. J-Lad looking very eager to take this fight.
Oh. Dan, do you go for another peek? He has been poking and prodding from VIP. Maybe sensing, though, that this time the position could be watched. Yellow ping out. Knows that J-Lad is watching here from the exterior looking in. I think that might be the last peek we get from Dan. He doesn't need to give his life away. It's all about holding that VIP position for as long as possible. Guards could, though, come help out from the other side and maybe look for a pinch into this position to deal with the Warden. It would be a pretty crucial kill. Help alleviate the backside pressure of Freezer. Even J-Lad now changing up his tune. Well, the time is running out. They are certainly looking to go for this pinch in towards VIP. 3 plays making their way. Pasha walks out, though, over towards Whiskey, and J-Lad now creeping all the way up. He knows he's in the corner. Dan, it's a headshot anyway. J-Lad was the circling shark, but Dan holds strong.
Dan's trying to watch so many different positions at the moment, but timing it well. Whiskey control again for VP, despite losing Pasha. Red ping's available to Falcons. They have good information.
They've got the numbers here. Falcons have got to find this kill over towards the bar. Robbie making his way in. Good kill from Guards. You know he's still here. Joystick down the hallway, though. Helps out from a distance. Shepard just holding on. And another one found from Joystick. Robbie, your teammate just died from there. 1v2 for Hashem. Now into Freezer. Big shot. Headshot. And Shepard on 5 health. Has been holding for so long as Hashem flashes himself. 20 seconds left. Can go bakery side here, guys, knowing where Shepard is. His position is known.
Do they have a read? The Yokai drone comes forward, but it's too late. Plant secured.
Too late. And Hashem can play the post plant. Shepard on 5 health. It won't take much from Hashem. A simple body shot, a toe shot will find the kill. This is a super crucial round right now for Falcons. They must find an attacking round from a position such as this. Shepard through small bake, going for a different angle of attack through the Sawyer gate. Doesn't find Hashem just yet, sitting inside of prep. So much time and the slow movement, so good. Shepard, they just find it! Oh, he does! That is an absolute back-breaking moment for Falcons. They could have gone up 5-3, found an attacking round. But Shepard, so cool, calm and collected, plays the time perfectly, clutches up for Virtus.pro. We are tied. But Virtus.pro on defense now are looking to make The last push towards claiming this second map. Timeout for Falcons.
Yeah, we saw the Yokai from Echo unable to deny plant. However, there was a wealth of information available. We see that yellow ping. Position was known in through prep. And just with a little bit of discipline, VP able to clutch up in the post. A huge round for their campaign here on Cafe, and likely their campaign here at the Montreal Major.
4 of the last 5 rounds now for Virtus.pro. After that 3-0 start from Falcons, that maybe has filled us with a little sense of false hope that this could be a series that goes to all 3 maps. Right now, Virtus.pro, and while the scores are tied with being on defense, well and truly in the driver's seat from here to close this one out. It's going to take something quite miraculous from Falcons. Right now, the biggest thing for me is the fact that VP have done such a good job in these gunfights. This is supposed to be the strength of Falcons. Joystick finding a double, all the way from small bank through the hallway. Shepard just staying alive over towards Bar. If he dies earlier in the round, as he should have, we may not have been in this position. Cannot believe it, but for Falcons that had chances, so many chances, back on Chalet and now even here on Cafe, but it feels like all these little 50-50 micro moments are going the way of Virtus.pro, that experience clearly shining through.
So then to reading, we go round 9. Can VP continue this streak on defense? An aggressive hold above, facilitated by the mirror. That's rather anticipated. And so pressure on Robbie in the util department to deal with those, but also in the frag department as well to step up to the mark. 4-7 thus far, needs to try and get himself in the game. Hasham's been playing well, but VP are doing a good job in just shutting these players down.
Well, they need a defining moment to go their way. We saw Hasham earlier in the first half, clutch up a big round, big 1v3, hold out cocktail. They need something like that. They need a Robbie to go in and just get 3-4 kills, get an easy round win, get an attack round on the board. They're yet to do so. VP found 2 attacking rounds. Puts the pressure on Falcons to at least minimum do the exact same. That was a chance in the last round to at least get 1. Take the pressure. It would have been 5-3. It would have alleviated that pressure valve ever so slightly. You'd be 1 away from OT at minimum, and they'd be further away. Nobody kill, though, comes the way of Falcons through J-Lad onto Joystick. You'll take it, but it doesn't mean the round is going to be a given from here. VP has shown the ability to fight back, even though they've been at times a player or 2 down.
Shepard keeping an eye on Skylight. We'll see if that bears any success. As mentioned, Robbie tasked with dealing with the mirror windows and able to do so successfully. As Hasham will join the party on the roof. Dan on the dock to overheal. Repositions back down to the 2nd floor.
Well, they've completely given up cocktail here, which is such a VP thing to do at this point. You've lost the play. You probably don't need to continue to contest the mid round. We'll give it up. We'll play these vert angles from down below, play sight, force Falcons to clear us from here. And it just means that if Falcons are going to win this round, they're eventually going to have to win this fight on the site itself, rather than getting someone peeking like a cocktail or looking to hold over towards backstore, for example. So this is going to be far more like VP that we usually are used to seeing. Play the site, play the late game, force the clock to tick down.
So a minute on the clock, convert control established from Falcons. Don't necessarily have a ton of traditional utility to create vertical lines of sight down below, but it is still possible. Robbie just being mindful of a potential retake attempt, but VP aren't likely to go for that.
Pasha's a super important piece here inside of Laundry. He's got a Nitro Cell. He can throw that over towards default here inside of Reading. If Falcons eventually, or he uses it now, and it will find a kill onto Dov. Well, they won't have it for the plant. At least he does find something from it. 30 seconds remaining now in a 4v3. Big kill for Always to shut down J-Lad. Stuck over towards Mining. Is there going to be a swift trade? No. Position known and now a 3v3, and again another winnable moment here for Falcons if they could just push through.
Still 1 gas canister available as well for Shepard to try and deny inside of this smoke.
No nitro, they have to shoot this. He sits in the middle of the smoke. Guard should get this down successfully. No, he's not in default, Pasha. He runs on through though, shot in the back. He's right there. 1 inside a pillar. Oh, he just didn't look, he looked away. Robbie looked away. Hasham in a 1v2 post plan, and they're coming from both sides. 1 through the corridor, watches it nicely. Couldn't get the initial down though onto Always, and he knows he's got Pasha through pillar. Hashem has to make a play, throws the smoke out to obscure the vision, makes the push, gets the kill. He's already cut it. He does it again. Super critical moment from Hashem. He's making some big plays here in this quarterfinal.
He has been phenomenal throughout this map so far, keeping Falcons head above water. Massive round to avoid the trade, then find the second. His positioning, his game sense, the mechanics, absolutely spot on. Rising to the pressure, and with that, Falcons back in the lead.
Oh, I did say at the start of the round, Falcons probably need a defining moment. And once again, the man who got the first one in the first half finds a second one here in the second half. Hashem with a big power play always changed the course of this round though with a free kill inside of mining, and then that started to see maybe a crumble for Falcons, but it was a really good plant. Robbie, this is so unfortunate. He looked away right as the smoke dissipated. Nothing's going right for Robbie here on Cafe, but get him to border and maybe he could redeem himself. 5-4. Falcons lead. Can they find one more to at least secure overtime?
So it's mining in play for round 10. And so we'll see the extension up above once more with the mirror in play. Last time out, Falcons found this quite a challenging hold to disrupt. Never really sunk their teeth into the attack. They dropped the Brava this time around. Twitch, though, in play. So the counter-ops are up and available to deal with this utility. Now it just comes down to execution for Falcons. Can they be a little bit more tidy, especially through the early round, give themselves a platform to play around? Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I thought their late round execute with the plan, the way that they did it inside of was reading it was actually really nice, rather than looking for the smoke default to sit in the middle, and it worked out perfectly. That got them the plant down. That then put Hashem in a position where he could then clutch up in the 1v2, but they do need to find a little bit more cleanliness for Falcons here on their attacks. Dream thirds and an opening kill from Robbie, and Robbie finds a second! The superstar who's developing before our eyes finally comes to the fold here on Cafe, and just like that, that's the Falcons we know and the firepower that they have. 3 kills inside 3 seconds, and this round could almost be done. Joystick and Shepard need to do something quite heroic from here. Otherwise, Falcons, like on Chalet, will have 2 opportunities up 6-4.
It's starting to feel like Falcons may actually be able to do it here on Cafe as we reach the midpoint of the round. Not over yet for VP.
He's inside reading, close right. Shepard loses the battle, and with that, VP surely lose the round. I love Joystick, he's a superstar, but even he surely can't clutch a 1v5 from here. Inside mining, does start with 1, confirmed, 4 to go. And suddenly we hold our breaths, but not for long. 6-4, 2 map points for Falcons here on VP's map pick of Cafe. Because they've been in this position before, back on Chalet, if you recall. They were up 6-4. They had those 2 chances, and they couldn't close it out. Can they do so here, now, in the second map?
I hope for their sake they're able to. They, I think, deserve it very much so, being so competitive here on a map that is so strong for VP. To continually just chip away and find these rounds, find these opportunities, and convert them has been very enjoyable to watch. A 2-round lead. As we look back at the 10th round, Robbie, 2 massive kills to kick off his campaign. And the rest of the team able to follow up. Good trading out at the end, good pressure on the side itself. Falcons fired up and ready to close out this map.
We'll see if they can do so. Again, they've got to now learn from their experience back on Chalet. What went wrong? How did we fail to close out? I'm sure they would have talked about that after the map itself, being like, guys, we struggled to close out. We had 4 chances to win the map, 4 map point scenarios. They'll get at least 2 more minimum here before we then potentially head to regulation if VP can hold on defensively. And that's the thing to kind of keep in mind here. VP are still on defense, so for Falcon to close this out on attack would be quite extraordinary, and certainly the way this entire series is playing out is not how we expected it. It was supposed to be Falcons win Chalet, VP win Cafe, we go to Border, but right now it could be the inverse option developing. 2 chances for Falcons. Have they learned from Chalet? We'll see as we head into the first of 2 map points.
So we'll be top down from Falcons. double vert. But the Buck and the Ram early fight currently over towards Kochek. And Pasha actually ends up second best, 66 HP. Oh, good utilization of the Echo here.
Yeah, good information being found. And played off immediately. I mean, that's just great teamwork from Virtus.pro. Yokai delivers the yellow ping. Pasha delivers the killing blow. Opening kill for VP here. Sits inside a code check. Low on health is the response coming from guards. He checks hard right, but here he is on the hard left as Pasha finds 2 opening kills, destroying the barbed wire, and Robbie cops one as well in the side. Down to half health, and this round already seemingly going the way of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, the information game from VP, dominant in this particular round, playing around it very nicely. Minute 30 on the clock. Yokai still standing red hall. Dov eventually able to make his way down top.
Oh, they're both double bar at the moment on either side, Pasha and Shepard. Does Dov have the awareness? No. Caught looking onto the right side. Pasha pops up. He's found 3 and maybe about to find a 4th. There's the down. There's a confirmation courtesy of Dan, and VP will end this round very swiftly and almost in a flawless fashion as Hashem. Well, he's had 2 great moments so far on this map, but a 1v5 with a minute remaining surely is beyond him.
Unfortunate for Falcons in this round, trying to get control over towards Kochek and Whiskey, and it just does not pay off. VP off the back of the Echo, 2 strong landing shots, and Pasha up to 12 so far. That information still up. Hasham's position well and truly known, and there's absolutely nothing he can do from this position.
No. To the point that maybe he would be best to actually just try and get back outside, take the last 30 seconds as an impromptu timeout. Does get the kill onto Pasha, but again, there's so much more that he needs to do with so little time remaining. This is surely just an unwinnable position for Hashem, looking to at least just maybe keep himself hot, ready for the next round to come, with some good movement, some good angles, practicing, ready for the next round. 6-5. Worrying times, though, if you are a Falcons fan, because you've seen them be in this position before and come up short. BP will have to navigate one more map point to try and send this to overtime.
One of the weaker rounds we've seen from Falcons so far. Good opening pick. The combination of Pasha and Shepard in that prior round was incredibly strong. Deployable shield still over towards Whiskey. And just walking into the meat grinder in the prior round there for Falcons, really not showing much fight at all.
All right, 6-5. Can Falcons close this out in regulation? We shall see. They get one more opportunity. Otherwise, it could be a nightmare relived from Chalet, where they were in the exact same position, up 6-4. And as soon as it got to overtime, they made it, then 7-6, but then still fell short in the final 2 chances. VP looking to send this one to overtime, and while they were utterly flawless in the last round, surely this one will be more hotly contested.
Fingers crossed. Would be one hell of a way to kick off the quarters here at Montreal with a 3-mapper. Unfortunately, all 3 of the qualification games in the final day were 2-0, so we're hoping for some competition.
Hoping this makes up for it, yeah. BP, though, would not want to see a 3rd map. They would not want to see Border. They want this one done here on Cafe, 2-0. See you later, off to the semi-finals. The Falcons, they want to extend their hopes of maybe reaching the promised land for a MENA team to make top 4 at a major. Hashem has been so instrumental, 10-7, but most importantly, impact for his kills. Logic bomb early from the Dokkaebi, but 3 mute jammers apparently blocking. At the very least, though, for Falcons, good position from Robbie through Pixel. Down the white corridor, there is one close left. Is he ready for it? No, Robbie mis-aims, and Dan will punish. Robbie just trying to get himself into the game, but 6-10, and has to wait to see how the rest of this round will transpire. Went for the solo push, went for the fast push, but comes up short. The risk-reward factor, though, is if he had have got that kill, big position, player advantage, could have been their round. 90 seconds remaining. BP with the player advantage as J-Lad on the rappel. Outside cocktail and just avoids that Nitrocell from Pasha. That's the only one that they had.
Yeah, Pasha was allowed to drop. Still, though, a hold above for VP.
Here he is
shot,
again.
Though, the man of the hour and guards as well. 4 versus 3.
Well, suddenly it flips. Now advantage Falcons. Well over a minute, lots of time. VP can look to consolidate over towards site. Double stack reading. Pasha, though, still white stairs. The diffuser on the white stairs side of the map with guards on the ram. Makes his way all the way up top, but Pasha following in behind, and he's being watched though. Guards ready for the push, but Pasha thinks better of it. Rather than going all the way back up, he just holds middle section of white stairs. Still more to do for Falcons to take this round. Shots on the always, but he's just cleaner from below. Creates the rotate path, gets out of a tricky area. 3v3, and certainly a chance that Falcons do not want to squander from here.
Will the backstab land from Hasham? Flash comes out, so his position revealed. 20 seconds on the clock. Guards needs to try and start going for this plant default.
Couple of flashes still remaining for Hasham. He's got 2. J-Lad throws 1 out. Guard sticking the plant. Now inside a laundry. Joystick stops the plant. He cleans them up, and Pasha as well gets rid of J-Lad. Hasham in a 1v3 with no time remaining. Just do not present an opportunity, and he will not be able to grasp it. No time, no chance. It's overtime. Once again, Falcons unable to close out. And that has been the differentiating factor of these 2 teams. For the second map running, up 6-4. And for the second map running, it's overtime. And Falcons, though, at the very least, have got defense. Is that a saving grace, guys? Is that something that can give you hope that maybe they can still get the job here done?
I mean, in some respects, that last round was more devastating than the one before because Falcons found themselves in a rather winnable position. There was a lack of plant denial on the board for VP.
No nitro.
But a massive shot. A gun reigns supreme and able to deny that plant.
Pasha
retake up above.
Yeah, Pasha's retake up above would have been late if the plant hadn't gone down. Then they could have bailed out of reading, played pillar, forced then VP to push forward. But as soon as Joystick hits that shot through laundry, denies the plant, that was basically the round. So overtime we go once again for the second map running. 6-6. Falcons on double defense, so they will have 2 opportunities on the defensive side, and they opt to go top 4. Bar Cocktail, an intriguing decision here, guys.
Yeah. Well, there's any side you want to be on in OT on this map. It is defense, so Falcons, will they let another opportunity go begging? Aggressive roam employed in the early round at least. Hasham and Dov down below. Nitro cell available for Dov. But information also up for VP. Keep in mind as well, with the Deimos on the board and the death mark available, Dov needs to be very, very careful. He has got some good information though with that drone. His Joystick vacates the roof, or retakes the roof rather. Final pieces of the puzzle then in place in terms of defensive setup from Falcons. Who's able to land the first blow in this round?
I mean, I gotta say, it'd be quite cruel if Falcons find a way to win this round and then lose the map. It would be the exact same recipe of Chalet replayed out. Slow and steady start here to OT. Nitrocell prepped, ready to throw for guards. Although drones, at this point, far more important. Puts the Nitrocell away in the back pocket. 3 of which are available for Falcons in this round on the defense. Dan, though, red stairs control in towards Shock, deal with the keeper barrier towards Pixel. This is pretty nice right now for VP. Bar Cocktail, you don't need a whole heap of map control. Keep it nice and close to the site. And if Falcons opt to peek, well, take their head off.
VP have shown a willingness to be rather direct on this objective, so we'll see how Falcons then look to adjust. Deep shock drone, good info. Pasha lands one shot, but Robbie will survive.
Robbie's peaks have just been so aggressive in this map, almost losing his life. He is just stuck over towards washrooms. Guards will lose his life. Opening kill for Virtus.pro here on the attack. This would be awful if Falcons lose on defense here. Makes it so much more difficult. Chalet has to win the battle. He cannot. VP just surrounding them. Hasham again, though, with a super critical kill. Double stack over towards the white corridor position now for Falcons as Hasham rotates in towards Cocktail. Dov, crucial, finds a big kill. Dan looking to stick the diffuser onto the floor. No one able to stop him, though, and it will be successful. Post-plant scenario with Dan in the middle of bar. Hasham making his way through backstore, caught by Joystick. 3 in the round for him. It's down to just Dov. But I feel like VP have set themselves up now as they've got themselves match and series point, looking to book their place into a semi-final appearance.
And it's another successful, rather direct attack on that objective for VP. Not feeling overburdened with the take through white corridor, instead focusing their efforts on site. Some pressure in towards Freezer, enough to win out those battles, win those duels, get the plant down, force the retake, and a double stack white corridor, never a good position for Falcons to find themselves in. There was that opening pick. Robbie to follow, he was under a ton of pressure throughout the round, and then the follow-up from Joystick, who's just been phenomenal here on Cafe.
Well, it's right now devastating for Falcons considering the way this series has played out, but it really highlights the experience of Virtus.pro in these moments, in these big games, being here before on the main stage. They've got what it takes. For Falcons, their first time at this kind of level in a quarterfinal. Not for Mena, but for Falcons. 6-7 down. You were up 6-4. You've allowed 3 rounds in a row now to Virtus.pro to put them in a position where they can secure this map and this series and head on through to a semi-final appearance tomorrow. Top 4 for VP. They were lackluster for Manchester, but SI, they were so good. Looking to bounce back to that level of form. Now the onus entirely on Falcons to do what VP has been doing to them and subvert expectations to send us to a 15th round for the second map in a row. Can they do it here on attack as well, of all sides?
Can Falcons find that extra gear? Unfortunately for them, it is a kitchen attack, and VP successfully defended that twice in regulation. Hasham early on, though, posturing red stairs. He could most certainly catch a defender off guard if he's patient. He'll sit and wait.
Logic bomb rings out from Robbie's Docker B as they answer the calls. Hasham will sit patiently. He's the one, though, isn't it, on Cafe, that is making a difference for Falcons. 12-8, the top frag for Falcons as Guards is getting ready. The blitz could be a difference maker. Dov deep in through reading. Good control can now be established up above for the bot to deal with the floorboards on the skeleton key. And still with decent timing as well of your Falcons. Hatch opened up, no real pressure here from BP, firmly playing that first floor for Kitchen. So Dov gets free reign. The Ram will get free reign. And Falcons are going to have very good pressure for the end of this round.
VP, though, with a good read. The Yokai drones identifying that there's no pressure in through reception or for a potential VIP hit. They'll know that all these efforts from the attack are up above on the vert.
Oh, never mind, not all of them. Guards making his way in towards VIP with a bit of help from J-Lad. They actually get rid of the warden and clear out a very strong key position.
And they've gone for this pivot. VP thought that Falcons weren't going to go for this hit, but here it comes, 60 seconds on the clock.
Now in towards Kocek left, and he might be able to get this kill. Oh, Shepard headshot! For White though, but Dov losing his life. Robbie struggling as well, falling apart for Falcons. What a play for Virtus.pro, and surely now it is lights out for Falcons. Down to J-Lad and Hasham, but a big kill with a Vendetta. Makes it a 2v3, not done just yet. Joystick still low on health. 30 seconds, and they do have the diffuser. Vulcan canister pop deep into sight. One at the backside here inside of Cooking. Always on the smoke, no more gas base, but loses his life.
It's winnable. 20 seconds on the clock, and Hisham and J-Lad combine to clutch it up for Falcons.
Deathmark goes out onto Pasha to find his location. He's up close. Vendetta's out. 12 seconds left. J-Lad, though, does have the diffuser. He knows where the other one is. Deep into Bakery. Looks to stick the plant. No impacts, no nitro, no chance. Surely Pasha doesn't get enough. VP close it out. Falcons so close, yet so far from a semi-final appearance for Mena. For Virtus.pro, looking to make amends of Manchester once again, as they did at 6 Invitational. They make top 4.
They stepped up when it mattered in this series. Just a little bit too clinical for Falcons today, who put up a fight.